What is up, Kaiju Seekers? Welcome to another Kaijunaut Variety Hour. Today it's going to be a little bit of a throwback as we're going to be tackling some topics involving Godzilla '98. Anyone who knows me knows that Godzilla '98 is my favorite Godzilla film, and so today we're going to be having a little discussion on it with regard to some recent developments that have, I want to say, resurfaced because um, we are going to be doing a little bit of a comparison between specifically a certain trope, which is a trope commonly found in most creature features, monster movies, things like that. And it did have a start. It got really popular with one certain movie, which both Godzilla '98 and Godzilla 2014 just so happened to take some inspiration from. And as we all know, Gareth Edwards, who recently directed the um, Jurassic World Rebirth. He is known for being a fan of Spielberg films, taking inspirations from them, certain elements, things like that. 2014 is filled with classic references to both Jaws, Jurassic World, things like that. In particular, we're going to be discussing, as I said, certain tropes. And it looks like we've got some people in the chat already. Hello, Alice. Hello, Zim. Looks like sure, no worries, bud. If we're gonna be a little late, don't worry. Hello, Blackaroonie. Welcome. It's always nice to have a Snyder fanboy with us. So now I'll be opening up the floor for anyone who wants to join in. I will do that in a second. But yeah, as I said, we're going to be basically comparing the trope of specifically the don't show the monster rule. And my point of view is basically going to be I believe that Godzilla '98 does a better job of depicting this trope than 2014. And that's going to be due for a couple of reasons. I'll lay out why I think that Roland Emmerich, who directed the '98 film, why I believe he did a better job at it than Edwards, mostly down to understanding what the rule is, how you execute it, and how it affects your story. And so, let's see here. And this all started, I've been wanting to do this topic for a while now. And so, hello, Minecraft World, welcome. And so, it's always been in the back of my mind, mostly due to the fact that Gareth Edwards has always been on record saying that that he took heavy inspiration from Jaws, specifically this one trope. And you interrupted my watch of Celtic Phoenix stream. Well, let's see. Sorry about that. But if you're going to be going in between this and that, let me know if you want to join at some point. But yeah, like I said, and with Gareth Edwards, I think one common criticism of his film since it's been released has always been Godzilla screen time, how it's used effectively and both ineffectively. I've always been a proponent that Godzilla 2014 would be like a near perfect Godzilla film if they showed the airport fight in full on screen rather than cutting away and showing it on the news. And so let's see. Whoops. Sorry for anything in the background. My dogs are pretty wild. But let me show some comments. We got Alice here. So my overall thoughts on Godzilla '98 isn't very good with characters and are pretty much awful people. Fair, I guess. Let's see. Godzilla 2014 has a lot of solid stuff and is overall okay, but has problematic human characters. Interesting. It seems the characters are a big point of contention with both films, so that's an interesting comparison there. 2014 is better and doesn't fall into the category that is good or bad. It's sort of just a middle for me, and '98 is awful. All right. Yeah. There are certain things I think 2014 definitely does do better than '98 in some aspects of Godzilla as a character. More faithful to what he was in the beginning to what the character is in the franchise. And let's see what others. I would say the way Show Godzilla is more so, a lot more. Yeah, so that's going to be one thing we're going to be talking about here. But I will be opening up the stream and then starting my discussion and slowly letting people in. Where's the share button? There you go. I'll be sharing it on the Zimzilla Discord. Whoops. So if anyone's in there, which it is a very nice community. Let's see, paste. Cool. So I will be sharing an article as well as the tweet from, I believe it was Goji Guy, who posted the tweet. And so, yeah, so let me know back if you want to enter and or just stay in the chat and you can just listen to me ramble. But first thing I'm going to do is share the tweet that just released from, it was, Kaiju number 14. And so, let me see. Nope. Here we go. Share screen. And so, here we go. So, if you should all be seeing the tweet. And then let's see. Gareth Edwards says he rewatched Jaws with a stopwatch in hand after hearing criticism for Godzilla's screen time and reveal in the 2014 film. And now, the specific things he said here, I think, was a big point of contention for me. And one of the reasons I think Roland Emmerich does the trope better of not showing the monster is what I personally call it, is like understanding how like screen time works, both with like the literal how much certain characters on screen and also how much presence he has in the plot. And so this is a quote from him. The shark first appears around the 1 hour 20-minute mark, and even then it's only for a brief moment, whereas Godzilla's first appearance is 55 minutes, and that's for the 2014 film, which I did watch back and time several of the... I went back and watched Godzilla 98, 2014, and Jaws for this the other day, and I timed some specific points in which like they first appear and things like that, which I think will be very interesting to look back on, especially with this quote. And let's see, when he did the math, the shark is on screen for about 4 minutes total, and Godzilla is for about 8 minutes. I'm not saying they're on par though. And then we're probably going to look more at the interview. I think I have it up, or we'll just click on it right now. But as you saw there, so he timed it on his own. And one of my points of reasoning is that he sort of misunderstands what the trope itself is and how it works. And for my definition, let me pull it up here in my notes because I have like a laid out definition of it. Basically, the don't show the monster rule, which is what I call it again. It's like a trope that involves hiding the appearance of a monster or creature through camera angles and setting to build up the reveal of the monster and its character within the story. And now, within that definition, which I think is like it can act as a universal definition of what the trope is. Basically, it's just a way to build up the monster in your story, and it helps with things like pacing, things like how you involve the set and characters, the tension build up, things like that. And one thing I think that Roland Emmerich did well with this film is applying that rule. And one way he does that is basically from the start of the film through the end of the first act, you basically are able to feel Godzilla's presence even without him being physically on screen. And so for instances such as the beginning of the movie to when he attacks the ship, we never get a clear look at Godzilla, but through things like having his roar echo throughout the hull of the ship, his claws, his tail all attack the ship at various points. And even though we don't see Godzilla, he's very much there, and this is a scene with him in it. And one thing that I disagreed with Gareth on is like, as you saw there, he said that the shark appears an hour into the film, and that's where he misunderstands the rule, and that it's not about um, not showing the monster or having scenes with the monster. It's about how you use the monster, his appearance in the film to build up the initial reveal or stronger moments later down in the film. It's all about escalation in the plot. And so, and granted, he does show, um, does something similar with the 2014 introduction to where we have scenes of Godzilla, um, and or like just some small clips of his dorsal plates going through the water. Obviously, you have the very iconic shot in 2014 where he comes up and then the nuke explodes, which is a very good scene, and there's a lot to build up the moment. However, where Gareth Edwards begins to fall is that we don't really have any mention or sighting of Godzilla until, let me see here. He isn't mentioned until like 44 minutes into the film, from what I have timed here. And again, that's like just a mention, which is what scene where Ford meets with Serizawa, and then Serizawa explains the backstory of Godzilla. And so with that, it essentially like, and all of in between that time, there is a lot of time dedicated to both the Brody family story and the Mutos, and I think that takes away from the impact of this being a Godzilla movie. Mostly due in part that, again, we lose focus for 44 minutes from when we first are shown Godzilla, and then he's never brought up again until the 44-minute mark. And then, as Gareth Edwards stated, like a little under an hour in is when he starts to appear again. And there's a lot of buildup there, and the buildup we do have to the scene is really good. However, there's no follow through because, as I mentioned, it cuts away from the reveal, and then we're back on the track of losing focus of Godzilla. And then for the rest of the runtime, we're mostly just following the Mutos and are following Godzilla. And the Mutos on their own do have effective screen time, but again, it's losing focus from Godzilla to build up these secondary monsters, which again, it takes away from the impact Godzilla has in the story, because we don't have like any meaningful moments with him, to where we can get an understanding of either like his characters, because a lot of it is being carried by either secondary characters or how much you want to like engage with the new monsters, which I like the Mutos in the film. I think like if you took away Godzilla and just had this be a film about the Mutos, I think it would be a very good monster movie, because the Mutos are effectively built on, and even in the introduction of the Muto scene, it's still really effective, and even there it is homaging Jurassic Park in a lot of ways. And then, hello, Sea Monster, good to have you on. Let's see what you got to say. By that logic, does Godzilla being absent until 50 minutes into Terror of Mechagodzilla's impact on that film story? Let's see, Terror of Mechagodzilla, which is the second entry in the original Mechagodzilla duology. I would have to say sure. I mean, I would have to rewatch it. Careful, Zim. I don't want you spinning down a highway. But I hope you just be safe, buddy. And then let's see, Blacker Rooney says, I will do the unspeakable and defend Vic on this one because that's a false equivalence, huh? That's interesting. Well, thank you for the defense, Blacker Rooney. But yeah, like, I would say it might diminish that film. I would have to rewatch Terror of Mechagodzilla again and get a feel for it. But like, I had tried to rewatch it I don't believe I ever finished it, and like maybe part of that was because I felt that it being, a Godzilla movie, I think he should always have some more involvement, or at least have moments evenly spread throughout the film, which is something circling back to 98 on, as I said, like Roland Emmerich effectively sprinkles out moments of Godzilla action, and especially within the first act, like I said, even though we don't see him, he isn't on screen for most of the first act. You still feel his presence throughout, not only in how, again, there's action but he's off screen, but all the characters have moments in which they are either studying, following, or witnessing his path of destruction. And so through that, there is effective buildup until we get to the 20-minute mark, to where um, we have our Godzilla landing in New York, and there's follow through in how we see gradually more and more of him, but even then, he isn't like clearly depicted on screen. And again, it just all leads back to, I think Gareth misunderstood what the point of the trope was, and how the purpose of it is to not only build upon your monster as a character and a threat, but also follow through later down the line, to where you now have the audience who understands, like how the monster works, what you can expect of it. And then we have, and then it's 45 minutes in, I believe. Let me see if I noted it down. But it's about 45 minutes or so into the Godzilla 98 to where we get that full reveal. And then that's the follow through. And then it's not even that, like, it doesn't cut away. We have the whole fish trap segment. We have the helicopter chase. And then we cut back to the human cast, to where we get to the middle point of the film, to where they discover the nest. And then there's more of a dip down to where we reach the climax of the reveal and the first action sequence. And then we die down with the characters. And then we learn more about him, and it starts to build up more and more. We get the reveal of the nest. We get the baby Godzilla scenes. And it's all with the characters who you may or may not like up to this point. And even speaking to comparing the acts of Godzilla 98 and Godzilla 2014, there is a consensus. Like, watch any Godzilla 98 review or any tweets on it. The consensus is that the first act of Godzilla 98 is the most effective act. And it's, generally considered very good for even like just a Godzilla film or film in general. And you also hear the same thing about Godzilla 2014, to where everyone loves the first act. But it's for different reasons. For 2014, it's carried by Joe Brody and his story with the family. And you always hear how once he dies, the consensus is that it starts to die down. And it's similar for Godzilla 98, I will admit that. But the reason there is because Godzilla is effectively built up upon. And then, whether or not you like the reveal of Godzilla and how he starts to act is when, it starts to not be as good for most people. But, that therein lies the difference. Godzilla 2014 is carried by one character throughout the first act. And so what does that say about this as a Godzilla film too? Because I think on its own, which again, there's a quote, Black Rooney, for you, like on its own. And what I mean by that is, if you view this from, because I did have a brief discussion about this with Gojin the Makai Phantom, and he said something to the effect of viewing it outside of a fan-centric lens. And I took that to mean as, like, if you ignore it being a Godzilla movie and see it through the lens of just like the casual audience, which is effectively, like, I think a better way of saying, like, viewing it on its own, like ignoring it being a Godzilla movie and ignoring the viewpoint of seeing it as a fan, would it matter if Godzilla's screen time isn't as much as uh, how do I say it, isn't as much as a flaw for like general audiences, or without taking into account like what a fan would think? Even then, I would still consider it lacking, because to a general audience, when you go watch a Godzilla movie, I think even then they would expect that the title character of the film has this build up, and you don't get that again until 44 minutes in. Whereas with Godzilla 98, you get that throughout the whole movie, and it is carried by Godzilla up until then. I know, Black, I know. But again, like when I say on its own, I mean as a film without viewing it through the lens of either a Godzilla fan or viewing it as a genre film. Um, and you can let me know like what you think of that. But like that's what I mean in this instance of when I say viewing it on its own, as in ignore being a fan, ignore like how a fan might feel about this. um, Look at it as from the perspective of just a general film. Does Godzilla not having screen time affect its quality? And I would argue it would, because when you have a Godzilla film, I think it's important that you have a good a good build up of the character and establishment of the character and what that character is. In this case, being Godzilla. Let's see what does Black have to say. I don't like the label as a Godzilla movie because it ultimately assumes that your standards have to be lowered to does Godzilla show up and do stuff. Maybe because again, like when it comes to like, let's see. Well, I might argue that like it should be a standard, because like viewing it as like just a Godzilla film, I think there's always an expectation of like the film's plot is always going to have to involve Godzilla in some way, because and like let's see, I don't want to fall into a trap of it being circular reasoning, because like it's a Godzilla film because it has Godzilla or something like that. I don't know, but let's see. Maybe, but I think we're talking about Godzilla build-up in general, Black. I feel that doesn't compensate for every element of a Godzilla movie or a monster movie in general. And like, I guess somewhat, because like again, my whole point of this was like taking a look at the specific trope of, the trope which everyone and their mother, when it comes to like talking about Jaws, they always say, "Oh, Spielberg was brilliant for, implementing this rule because, it effectively, portrays a shark, and it like it elevates the plot." Yeah, it's a standard, just a really low one. Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, but yeah, because I mean, yeah, because and like I was saying, like Spielberg is always cited as like a main example of how that trope works with Jaws. Um, but like I said before, in Jaws, the shark shows up like within the first minute, and while we don't see it, it's still there and it has those moments. And then when I timed it, the second appearance of the shark is 16 minutes into the film, and then the third appearance is 26 minutes into the film. Fourth appearance, the fourth appearance is the appearance where we get that scene of, I believe, the beach scene where it comes and it goes into the pond, and then we have that man on the boat, and you have that iconic shot of the shark coming up from under the water and getting him, and that's like an hour in. And if we strictly look at if we strictly look at it from the point of view of that is when we see the shark, Gareth would be correct. But again, it's misunderstanding that it's not about seeing the creature; it's about feeling its presence. And back to the whole point of this stream and me discussing it is that Roland Emmerich understood the assignment essentially and was able to effectively build up the presence of Godzilla before we even got our first glimpse of him. And so that would be my main argument, I believe. So maybe we're talking about one. I believe you mean specific element of both movies, to be fair. But yeah, like that's one element. Because like if you want to argue like how they handle the character, 2014 has Godzilla 98 beat because it is a more faithful reinterpretation of the character. And so like if you were to compare them as characters, I would say like 98 is definitely like the least faithful to what Godzilla is. And then before we go any further, we have our first guest of the evening, and it's going to be welcoming Zimzilla99. Welcome to the show. And hopefully, let's see. Right now, I'm not hearing you, Zim, but let's see. I'll just wait a second. See if you can set up your stuff on your end. Let me know in private chat if you can hear me, because I can't hear you at the moment. Regular chat, you let me know if you can hear Zim. What's this? Oh, let's see here. We have another guest. Hopefully he'll be more talkative.
Oh, that's interesting. So for some reason my Blue Yeti can't be heard, but
Damn, you got a Blue Yeti?
Yeah. But for some reason the headset on my headphones is working, which is interesting.
But welcome, guys.
Now
and hopefully
there we go. Okay, that's so much better.
Okay, I can hear you pretty good.
Yeah, it's now going through my Yeti. Okay. What I did say right as I came in was like Godzilla and Terra Mecha Godzilla. I may show up late, but my entrance is at least impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And can anyone hear Black or no?
I
didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's the
Black. Yeah, I was
just
speaking. No, I just really wanted to make a really epic entrance, but I couldn't think of anything, so I just said nothing. I'm just playing People Playground. Just pretending that the dolls are fake while I completely obliterate them with my Doomsday mod. You know, this guy just made a Doomsday mod, and so I'm just obliterating.
I'm dead.
Real.
But so I only got to listen to a little bit of it because obviously I was speeding in my car down the rainy highway. But I'd say, Vic, what would be best is reaffirm all the points that you've made so far, because there was a few things I am going to respond to, but I want to hear everything.
Alrighty, so let's see. I did have essentially my main point is that Roland Emmerich has a better understanding of the specific trope of not showing the monster, more than how Gareth Edwards took the trope, as he describes in the interview I showed earlier, specifically citing films like Jaws. Like my main point is that Roland Emmerich does a better job at building up the presence of Godzilla as a character in the first act, whereas Gareth leaves all the build up to like about a little under an hour in the film, and it takes away from that film as a result.
Okay.
And welcome, Sea Monster, everyone.
That was easy.
It's you. How could you, man? How could you? That's peak fiction right there. See, Vic, that's the movie you should be saying is peak fiction.
I mean, it's on par with 98, so.
Or Morbius, right up there with Morbius and Madam Web, the masterpieces of Sony.
When Morbius, unironically, has heard the phrase "it's morbing time" at least once in the comics.
Yeah.
Oh, in Midnight Suns, the video game, they alluded to the thing that one of the characters says, "What was your catchphrase? It's time to morb," and then Morbius goes like, "Oh, close enough." They made it canon, so yeah. Like I don't even know if anybody has played Midnight Suns.
I have not. I like that part of Marvel, but I have not. I have not played Midnight Suns.
It's literally just Marvel the game with Midnight Suns slapped onto it. It's Midnight Suns in name only because Midnight Suns is like a small team of street level / magic.
Yeah, it's street level magic characters. Yeah,
I expected Moon Knight, but for some reason Spider-Man shows up, which I mean I'm not complaining, but really,
I think Spider-Man's been on the he's appeared in Midnight Suns material before. Also, real quick, like, could you? I know because it was something that came on Twitter first. Not Emmerich. Gareth Edwards did a tweet about it, right? And where it was like Kaiju 14 that posted the thing that he said.
Yeah, let me bring it back up to what he specifically said, and I don't believe this is like the same quote from like the time when 2014 came out. I think it's like a new quote from my understanding. I could probably click the link, but here's the tweet with like the main quote that.
Yeah, I just sent the tweet in the in private chat so then I can pull it up myself.
Let me see. Where's this thing go? I hope it's still. Oh, it's a Japanese article, I think, too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it is that. Okay, so it is from Kaiju 14.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to find it in his sea of other tweets. Nope, found it. There we go. Perfect. So it says he realized Shaw's with stopwatch in hand after hearing criticism for Godzilla's screen time and revealing Story 14. The strike's first appearance around the total mark, and even then, just for a brief moment, whereas Godzilla's first appearance is at 55 minutes. When I did the math, the shark is on screen for only about 4 minutes. So Godzilla's. I'm not saying they're on par. And going to the article, which should let me translate in just a second.
Let's see. I also have an article from The Atlantic I pulled up a little bit ago, but it has another quote. Right. I think this is from.
I haven't compared.
Yeah, this is from around the time 2014 came out.
I haven't compared them.
I have a question for you, Vic.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier, in regards to Godzilla's character, specifically 2014 and 98. So. You mentioned that Godzilla, at least in 2014, adhered closer to the original intentions than 98. Is that correct?
Yeah, generally speaking.
Okay. In a vacuum, what would you say Godzilla's character was specifically, both in 98 and in 2014? Like, if you just completely removed those, the original from the equation and just focused on each individual character in a vacuum, what would you say it was?
For 98, I would characterize him as a general. I always say force of nature because, and that's more so specifically about him as animalistic force of nature, and that like he's purely based on instinct. Whereas with 2014, he's more so this force of nature in the sense that he is this guardian of nature. And he is acting out his duty as a guardian of the balance. And, those are the two things.
Wouldn't you say that at least for 98, instead of a force, you would say he's well, technically it's a she because he has a vagina, but wouldn't you say that 98 is an agent of nature, as in a member of the natural world, I say a natural world, as much as close to it as it could possibly get, given the the radioactivity and the mutation and all that. Wouldn't you call Zilla an agent of nature, just like an animal, as opposed to Godzilla. Because at least Godzilla is unknowable in the sense that his role is emphasized more than the actual creature itself. Like the creature is the role itself, whereas in the movie, Zilla is treated more like an animal. So wouldn't you say he's more like a an agent of nature as opposed to the embodied a force of nature? I mean,
I would say it's a fair characterization, and I would even somewhat agree with that. I might have like a personal differing take on like the difference between like an agent versus a force.
So
but
an
yeah,
agent, I would
somewhat agree.
say, is that like if I was to describe a force versus an agent's, I wouldn't even say agent's a good term. I would say like Godzilla 98 isn't really a force for an agent of nature. Godzilla 98 is just a big animal. Like it's acting purely on instinct. For some reason, it instinctually wants to move to New York because it feels that that is the best place that it can to nest, even though that doesn't make any sense logically, given every other choice that it could have made, because it spans over 2 oceans to get to New York. There's plenty of other areas that are more secluded and probably be better climatized.
like California.
Not California, California, Hawaii, every other small uninhabited island that you could have gone
Uninhabited.
to. Yeah,
Who said anything about uninhabited?
I'm
Los
saying
Angeles.
No, I'm saying anything about uninhabited islands.
Get rid of California.
But yeah, I'd also say too, going back to the article, I think that literally all he's saying is that purely he's talking about how much Godzilla's screen time is compared to the shark screen time. But I would say that how 2014 builds up Godzilla's presence is fundamentally different from Jaws, and is actually closer to that of Terror of Mechagodzilla or Godzilla 2000 in the sense that Godzilla is fighting another monster in this movie. As a result, the film has to do the work to cement the threat of the monster as opposed to Godzilla.
Yeah.
I have not rewatched 2014 in some time, but one thing I have actually considered is the fact that at the start of the film, we're introduced to the idea that humans are disturbing the ecosystem, and we see this when they uncover Dagon's skeleton. Graham specifically asks if it's him, which we can intuitively understand is in reference to Godzilla, and because of and Sarazawa states that it's not him and that it's older, but we also know that the spores related to the mutos were implanted in this skeleton. We can also intuit the fact that the specimen atom is the same skeleton diagram we see in the little title flip through before Godzilla gets nuked. So the audience has enough information to infer that the creatures that were inside of the skeleton came from another member of Godzilla's species, and either whatever birthed them killed it, or the species itself intuitively preys on or is parasitized to Godzilla. So they already set up the mutos as a threat to Godzilla. And since the mutos are monsters that we've never seen before, we're able to see the mutos in their full glory take off, perform all their little activities before we finally get Godzilla. I will admit and bite the bullet and say that it is not the best thing that the fight in Hawaii isn't shown, but the fact that we finally do get to see Godzilla appear and how that is set up to confront the mutos, I'd say is a lot better done and actually holds up better on subsequent rewatches than 98, because overall, given what we do know about the capabilities of the American military in the pursuit of Godzilla, it seems illogical that Godzilla would be able to not only cross Central America and then go all the way up the Eastern American seaboard without any military assets intercepting Godzilla prior to this. And then the same goes for the fact that there's so many military bases that are in and around New York City. Even at the time of 98, there's been new ones that have popped in and out, that they could have scrambled enough material to at least hold up a defense against Godzilla and killed him before he even caused any extra damage. Not to mention the fact that they had already known about the fishing trawler happening beforehand, and because of Godzilla's lack of durability, it still makes no sense to me that Godzilla wasn't killed long before he even made landfall. Whereas, at least in the case of 2014, they already know that nukes don't work on him. So their most powerful weapon is essentially null and void. So all they could really do is track and follow him, which they're shown to do. And even though they propose the idea that nuking him is going to, or nuking the monsters in general is a better solution. They realize, one, that that's not going to work, and Stent ultimately adheres and pulls back and listens to what Serizawa has to say in that regard.
I wouldn't even. You mentioned earlier killing. I don't think it would have been possible anyway. But yeah. That so this
to kill 98.
Is what
to kill 98?
I was gonna say 20. I thought you meant 2014.
No, I'll say it would have been way. It was possible to kill 98 before 98 made landfall. Whereas we've established, due to the preview we see in 2014, that Godzilla is already nuked once. So the most powerful weapons that we have are going to be null and void against 2014. So killing him's out of the question.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if that was one of the problems that 2014 had, because I know Braden likes to talk about how 2014 has a lot of problems. I was just wondering if that was one of them.
No, that's not one of them for me. Because the big problem I have with 98, outside of the fact that for some reason they attack, like the first time they have Godzilla quartered, they attack him with small arms fire instead of using the tanks and missiles that they have to shoot at him first to soften him up, or the fact that they don't even use like the vast majority of the military assets that they could have used that would have the same level of payload as the Lockheed Martins that they do use. That's just one of those small those things where it's like, if the film is trying to be a more realistic and grounded take on Godzilla, then not accounting for these more realistic resources that would be available to the United States military is a contrivance in and of itself, because it allows Godzilla to survive longer than he should within the scenario that you've concocted in your mind. Because at least in 2014, they established straight up that nukes don't work on him. So unless they have even more powerful nukes, which they say are going to make the ones that try to kill Godzilla look like a firecracker, still probably wouldn't work, given the expertise that we adhere to when it comes to Serizawa.
Yeah, and considering like the first sort of sequence where they try to attack Godzilla, like luring him out with the fish, fish. It pretty much makes even less sense for them to even just go with the whole just standard rifles and firearms, shooting at him before doing the artilleries. Considering that, it would just kind of be like, if you look at something like that big, why would you assume that, hey, let's just shoot with our regular guns first, as opposed to just, hitting him with the tank rounds or rockets?
First.
Yeah, do that.
That's always something that I hated in pretty much any monster movie in general, where their first instinct, instead of just assuming, well, their hide is probably strong enough to withstand all these small arms bullets, instead of going for more, for big ordnance, artillery, that kind of stuff, ICBMs, all that stuff, instead of, they just keep shooting at it with regular, like, on the ground firearms, like handheld firearms. That's always something that's always bothered me, which is something that I think 2014 I think you would call that a subversion. I'm not entirely sure if you would call that a subversion, but I'm pretty sure that it would be called that, because it tries to avoid that as much as possible and just focus exclusively on, if you're shooting Godzilla, it's not to kill because you're not going to kill him. It's to divert him away from populated areas, which is what we see in the bridge scene in 2014, where we see that the military is actively using tanks and and soldiers on the ground firing at Godzilla to get him to get away from the bridge, which, I mean, it doesn't work, but at the time it seemed like the best possible option, and it seemed like it was working too, because Godzilla was moaning, he was groaning, and it sounded like the missiles and the artillery fire, it was all taking effect. So, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, they pretty much started with the battleships shooting at him. When he starts getting up, and then they just kind of then they followed up with the ordinances on the bridge.
Yeah, and that's another thing too with 98 in particular, because you guys remember the helicopter chase sequence, right? Where they were all they had all the missiles ready, but Godzilla kept chasing after them, and they don't send more to ambush.
Or the fact that for some reason it's colder than the buildings around him, when in reality a creature of that size would be generating so much heat from moving around that it is literally next to impossible he'd be colder than the buildings around him.
Yeah, for thermal scans and that kind of stuff, it's downright impossible to hide.
Or what's it called, Braden? No, I just called Black Braden. There are two B's.
Oh, you call me like your ex.
My ex.
You call me your ex.
The relationship that we're having is giving me flashbacks. I can't do this again. But you'll appreciate that there is literally one vehicle within the United States Army's or just the United States military's arsenal that could beat 98 easily. And it's the Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolts. Simply for the fact that one, its top speed is 420 miles per hour. Most of the special features that you can see on 98's clock his top speed at being at 400 miles per hour. Even if we say that his max speed could go up to 600 miles per hour, more than likely, given the fact that 98's having to maneuver in and out of buildings, the A-10 has more maneuverability because it's in the air, would be able to track down 98 easily. Two, the Gao 8 Avenger machine cannon is able to fire 4,200 rounds per minute, meaning the amount of fire that one of these could output would probably be more than all of the Apaches that we see trying to use similar 30 millimeter chain guns on. So overall, for some reason, and not to mention the fact that the Thunderbolt's been in use like way before 1998 anyway, so it's not even something where it's like, oh, it's a new aircraft that wasn't being used at the time. There are so many things that the military could have done at the level of a colonel that it makes no sense 98 isn't dead. Like the moment it steps on American soil.
Yeah.
America!
Literally.
No, but I'll do you one better, Zim. I'll do you one better. Zilla cannot outrun a taxi. That alone should tell you just how easy it would be to kill this thing.
Or, Zilla could. It's just that the plot requires that he can't for some reason.
Yeah. Or the fact the plot requires that he can't crush a taxi in his jaws when he's able to completely crush a helicopter that weighs more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're using the film's logic, then if we're going to assume that the plot is going to require Zilla, almost called it Godzilla, it requires Zilla to, die, then you could literally just have it so that somebody launches a... Hey, actually, you know what? You remember King of Kandor once said that it would be really easy to kill Godzilla, any version, if you just shove napalm down its gullet.
I would say that's probably unlikely due to the fact that since Godzilla's mouth in most iterations, the breath is coming from inside his mouth, like up through it, because we see that in GMK. So more than likely Godzilla's breath is able to, Godzilla's innards are able to withstand that for the most part. And the only reason why he dies in GMK is because his own breath blows him apart. So even if we shove napalm down his mouth, it wouldn't be able to do anything to him. The only reason why something that's been shot down his mouth has worked before is the cadmium, is because it directly counters his radioactivity, not because it's like something that's like more like stronger in terms of like fire or anything like that. So yeah, napalm wouldn't work, unfortunately. I would like to see that though. I think that'd be really cool to see, like in a film.
I think it wouldn't work with other versions. That's something that I tried and failed to explain to him, because he kept insisting, oh, well, if the hide is the problem, then the insides must be just as weak, to compensate. Because the hide compensates for the inside, so the inside must be weak, therefore napalm. But
I think wasn't on his Kaiju and Fantasy stream?
No, that was in one of my black screens.
Oh, it was on the black screens. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I remember hearing the argument. I was like, I wish I was there for that. For the black screen. But,
yeah, but I would say that it would work for at least Zilla, because it's not established that he has an atomic breath anyway. So I think the napalm could work at least with this version.
Well, the one reason why you know for a fact it could work is because Zilla was incapacitated by cables being jammed into his gums. So that was able to cause him enough pain. Not to mention the fact that the power breath doesn't go directly down his mouth. The actual force of the power breath itself is what's causing that fire to move forward. So hypothetically, if you shoved it down his mouth further, far enough, and he tried to ignite his power breath, it would scald the inside of his mouth.
Yeah, it would do. That's why. I think napalm in particular, like just burn him from the inside out, burn her from the inside out.
Mhm.
Or there are other orifices you can shove napalm into, like the one we
Indeed.
see when Zilla first appears. You know what? You know the one, Vic.
We know
you
the
know the
one.
one. You know the one.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You know the orifice. You know the one. You know what it is.
Oh.
Don't lie to us. You know what it is.
Oh, it should be. We can
Not
have
to
a whole
mention-
other discussion.
As well as here's another
Yeah.
thing too, is that the baby Zillas, they're built up as a threat, but outside of the fact that there's so many of them, the French Secret Service, all they come in with are Heckler and Koch HK-94A3s, which are made to look like they're made to look like MP5A3s, but one, those are civilian variants of the MP5. Two, they're like in 9mm, and that's not really going to do anything. So they're not even in 5.56. They're not in 7.62. They have nothing like no saws, M60s, nothing like that. So hypothetically, with handheld weapons like the 37mm launcher that you do see the military using, or the AT-4s that the French Secret Service are literally seen loading in their in the little warehouse scene, they'd probably be able to kill the baby Zillas pretty easily. And
Hell, the
what's even
bombing
funnier
run was
about-
able to do it as well.
Yeah, but the thing that's even worse about that is the fact that we see them with higher capacity rifles. They dress up as army guys to get into the quarantine zone, but they don't bring heavier ordnance.
Because they're dumb.
Yeah.
And French, which kind of tracks.
Not to mention the fact that 98 implicitly encourages espionage.
Yeah.
What did the movie mean by that?
Yeah, what did the movie mean by that? What's this?
In a pre-9/11 world,
America's
pre-9/11
allies are able to screw over its country. What did the film mean by this? Maybe
And
it
this
is.
was
Maybe it is the most realistic Godzilla movie ever.
Oh no! Do you think that people saw 98 and thought in the 2000s, and then there were some people that were, instead of with the conspiracy theories, instead of saying, "Oh, it was the Jews that orchestrated 9/11," it was the French because they saw 98.
It was the French. Oh, French.
The French orchestrated 9/11.
Well, no.
no!
Honestly, the French have such a legacy of failure that the fact that actually, it says something that a self-flagellating German man made the French look good.
Oh man.
Oh my god. They have zero clue that just the Italians are just the better versions of them. I mean, they had Rome, they had Byzantium. The best things that come out of civilization have never come from France. They come from Italy, Rome, Byzantium.
The funniest thing is that the best thing that people think of when it comes to French are the Normans, and they went to Britain to get away from France. Imagine being the best thing to come out of France, and you don't even decide to live in France.
Considering that.
Don't mess with what are they called again?
The Normans.
Don't mess with us Normans. We don't even like France.
We don't even like.
Considering how incompetent Jean Reno and especially his guys were taking on the baby Godzillas, if they just brought a whole bunch of croissants just to throw at them, they probably would have been more effective.
No croissants. No,
explosive croissants with
now I'm just imagining a Gmod with the TF2 spy with a croissant throwing it like a Gmod baby Godzilla, and it just crumples over because it has
Oh, Zim, I have a you play Helldivers?
I do not play Helldivers, but
because there's a weapon there. Because there's a weapon there
the
that's
ODST. I may be getting it because of the ODST collaboration.
Oh, you should. But there's this one stratagem in particular. It's incendiary mines. Imagine that, but it's just croissants. So it's like incendiary croissants, just spread all over the battlefield.
No, now I just want to have someone make a mod where it's no croissants, no monsieur. Or no, instead of how about some liberty? It just you call this coffee as the things are raining down. I call this America.
I call it the taste of freedom.
I call it freedom, sir.
Merci, mon ami.
Wait, what was
Going-
that Alice said? Because I think it has
the
something to do with like the
Godzilla
topic
is
of the
something
streams.
more powerful than a nuclear bomb can kill him. I think it was that.
Let's see. I think this
Yeah,
was the
that's-
last thing Alice
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I think
No,
I missed.
I saw the
Kuzono's,
word logic there, so what was it? Because I saw the word logic there. I don't.
I think it was something from before.
That's a while back. I'm curious on both
Yeah,
of
a
these
while
things. I
back.
feel like my logic might be flawed in some areas. So how do you feel about my logic overall? Where is that? Oh wait. Oh no, it's in reference to this. So it says Jurassic Park also set up as monsters by showing the Velociraptor in the beginning, albeit unintentionally, given the history of that movie and its production history of how they found a dinosaur by accident. Oh, I think you're referring to the fact that at the time Velociraptor, they used the name Velociraptor, and then there was Deinonychus that was discovered, and then later on, while Jurassic Park was in production, Utah Raptor was discovered, and Utah Raptor ends up being a raptor that's of similar size to the JP Raptors, and according to more recent estimates, is actually like heavier than the Raptors are in the JP films. I would say, like, also when it comes to the Jurassic Park, even the book, as much as the dinosaurs are more up to date in comparison to like other films at the time, there were still small things that are more anachronistic, and people tend to forget that because of how the film portrays the dinosaurs as being more closer to up to date science in comparison to Crichton's book. So even then, the JP dinosaurs were always monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like if I were to like hear anybody just like talk about the Velociraptors in JP and how it was like, oh, they didn't realize like how how inaccurate, scientifically speaking, the Raptors in the film were going to be to the actual thing at the time. It's like, yeah, like I hear that, I'd just be like, look, like you could even like technically these Raptors would be diagnostic, whatever it's called.
Deinonychus.
Deinonychus or Utah Raptor.
Well, the thing
like I would just be kind of like, look, call it whatever the hell you want. The movie's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, like I would say, like the like people tend to forget about the fact that even in some books at the time, Deinonychus was referred to as Velociraptor anteropus instead of Deinonychus anteropus, and that's the one thing when it comes to paleontology is that it's an ever-changing field, and that there's always going to be these things that people are gonna know because of like their own understanding of things at the time that end up just inevitably changing because of how fast things get.
Yeah, and, like the reason why why the prologue scene in Jurassic World Dominion had a T-Rex with feathers was because, like, you know, at the time when they were making that movie, it was like is still under the belief that T-Rexes, had feathers back in the day. And then after the movie was released, then changed, paleontologists or whoever, they changed their mind and said, oh, no, it turns out T-Rexes didn't have feathers back then. Like, you motherfuckers.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like honestly, this is my big problem with the paleo community and paleos in general, is that paleos have a very strong opinion about how certain dinosaurs look. But if you look at how scientists actually talk about them, there's a lot more maybes than people give them credit for. And like overly feathered T-Rexes are a product of the whole, birds are related to dinosaurs. We found dinosaurs that have feather impressions. Therefore, since we know birds are related to dinosaurs, all dinosaurs must be super fluffy. And then people be like, oh my gosh, don't you like people want to feel right about things in many cases. So they're like, Jurassic Park T-Rex, super inaccurate, bro. Like, don't you understand? Actually, one fun thing to consider is the fact that possibly in the Jurassic Park book, the T-Rex might actually be standing with its tail dragging rather than standing horizontally, because the original Jurassic Park icon, like that, the icon that we see on the logo and on the book cover itself, is based on the AMNH T-Rex skeleton. And at the time, that skeleton was still standing with its tail dragging along the ground, which is why it has that distinct curvature to its spine in the logo. And even in the book, and it's shown in the film too, that the T-Rex tests the fence to see if it's electrified. But from how it's described in the book, the T-Rex is almost grabbing the fence with its arms, which would imply the arms are not perpendicular, are parallel to how the fence is shaped, so that's why it's able to grab them. Whereas how you see in the film, its arms are kind of more dangling off to the side, and it pulls it down, which is more off-putting. But yeah, there's the AMH skeleton, and there's the Jurassic Park logo.
Yeah, look at that second
yeah. Yeah, honestly, Zim, I think this would be a lot easier if you people collectively just stop believing in dinosaurs.
I would
They're a
never,
government psyop.
I would
Wake
never
up,
stop
people.
believing in
But no,
dinosaurs.
what's it called? We already know birds are government psyops. So yeah, if birds are dinosaurs, then
that's
dinosaurs are
true.
government psyop.
Yeah,
They
just use it-
because you see, China invented birds. They're actually surveillance drones. They're watching you jack off to at Marvel rivals Emma Frost.
Hey!
Tommy Moe.
Hey!
Hey, it's fine, Zim. I prefer magic anyway. You have your Emma Frost over there. I like.
It's
my
okay to
Russian.
be wrong, Black. It's okay to be wrong.
Hey, listen,
Hey!
listen.
Hey.
I like dignity. All right, I like having my dignity. So
Hey, if my dignity is all intact, I choose this.
Yeah, it's so intact that you cannot do anything. You cannot
Good.
do anything of your
I
own
can
accord.
call
You
it
need
to
her to
work.
call you a good boy. You need
Yes.
her to call you a good boy.
I've never been the same since my wife left me.
You risked all my life just to spy on people's Marvel girl gooning.
Oh boy.
Put chemicals
alright,
in the
Speaking
water.
of gooning, Zilla's cloaca.
Oh god. There's enough.
I have been here for 20 minutes and none of you all have acknowledged me.
I was about to say,
trying
oh, hey,
to
Minecraft,
segue
they're
into
Where
here.
are you? Oh wait, because I'm not looking at the screen. Oh, it's Minecraft. Oh, I wasn't looking at the screen. I was
Hey!
playing, People
I
Playground.
have been waiting here for 20 minutes. Waiting for an opportunity to speak.
Hey Minecraft, I got something for you. Beep boop beep
What?
boop 001000011100011.
I have a feeling he
Motherfucker.
understands what that means.
Your sparks are showing.
That's due
What?
to the fact
How
that his
dare
voice
you
robot.
insult my mother? How dare you insult my mother like that? How dare you?
I don't want to hear no back talk from some clanker.
You wire back. No
God.
son of mine is going to date a clanker.
What
Just
did you
like
say
the
about my mother?
simulations.
Do I really have to fuck your mother?
You bucket of bolts, you oil drinker.
Well,
No.
Minecraft. According to the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church, I am your father.
That the same archdiocese that promotes. What's the name of the saint that said she had spiritual orgasms? I forgot the name of the saint.
Oi, Black! That'd be 35 Hail Marys
And
and 55 Our Fathers.
No.
Father. Yeah. What? No, wait, no. No, you gotta do Darth Vader first. The fuck you mean, nuh-uh.
No.
Yeah, huh?
No.
Yeah, huh?
No.
I need to not do that as a meme.
Okay, we got to
See
stop
that-
before it
but,
devolves
like,
into more.
I wanted
autism.
to chime in a bit on the dinosaur discussion before we jump back to Zilla's vagina.
We jumped back into it. Okay,
It is pretty
Whoa,
cabinet, I'll tell you that.
Hey, speak for yourself, man. Speak for yourself. I don't want to get in there.
No,
I
Black,
mean, what's
no,
it
you
called?
do.
Wait, before you say anything,
absolutely do.
Minecraft, Black, it's a good thing you don't want to go in there because if she is what she eats, it's going to be fishy.
Oh no!
You don't want to go in there because Vic already went in there.
What?
Yeah, it's probably
What?
it's probably loose anyway.
That is obvious. What?
It's probably loose anyway.
No, but Black, seriously, don't lie to yourself. But
No,
Yeah,
Garagoji is my Lord and Savior. Okay, He is my Lord. He is my Savior, and I am the divine acolyte of its divine blessing.
I just want to let the record
Sure,
show that Gareth
buddy.
also called his
Sure.
Godzilla sexy. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
but
look
it's
at
at
the
the right
thighs.
time.
Well, okay, he did give his Godzilla abs, so fair enough.
And he has a noticeable bulge, so yeah, Garagoji
That too.
clears.
That too, although it doesn't quite.
Okay,
go
Minecraft
that
World,
far out.
proceed with what you
But-
want to say about dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Minecraft, speak, clanker.
But yeah, with you saying like the dinosaurs are not scientifically accurate in Jurassic Park or just straight up monsters, yeah, that's kind of what has made, on a personal level, something like Antediluvian Park so easy to adapt because it's sort of because it's basing itself off of early paleontology, and the Victorians were sort of an extreme version of that. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that front. Anyway, yeah, G14 did it better. G14 did the introduction of the monsters better in every way.
Yes.
That's not to say Zillas didn't work in a vacuum. The problem is the payoff wasn't worth it. I think a lot of the problems with Zilla's buildup comes to how everything was handled after the design reveal. The helicopter chase is one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen in any kaiju movie.
Uh-oh.
Spaghetti, yeah.
Oh, no.
What?
I would.
No, nothing. It's just that I'm playing people. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's just that I'm playing people play. I accidentally killed God.
What is this, a JRPG?
Send him
Which
to the
one?
God morgue.
Which god? Wait. What? Which god? Demeter? Isis,
Capital G.
Apollo? Aphrodite?
Capital
So
G,
Zeus.
the only one. I saved them in my files. There's God, which is literally just Saitama with God powers, and then there's just God 2, which is
God
like,
2.
oh, I'm going to hell. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, well, I would say I have to personally disagree with that because, like, to me, I don't think because there is no payoff with Godzilla's buildup. Because again, like there is some effective buildup to Godzilla's reveal, but there's no payoff other than just Godzilla being there. Which is why I say that, like, I think we should have had that airport scene to have that payoff.
I don't understand what you mean by that, because like the payoff in G14. Okay, I'll have to give you that, but still, the payoff of G14 was, for what is the rest of the movie. The payoff is the fact that Godzilla we've already established Godzilla's danger. We've already established the Muto's danger. Now they've met. Now our stakes are established.
I would say another thing too to consider is the fact that when it comes to 98,
the second the military starts shooting him.
Yeah, like the moment Godzilla is like revealed in full, and like we have the chase scene, which is definitely underwhelming, even on first watch through, but also on subsequent watching.
Personally, I find it humorous. Like,
I mean, I've already gone through the stages of grief and already gotten to humor with it, but the problem again just runs into the fact that like there's so many things the military could have done to kill him there that build up to the Godzilla, like the full reveal, is just kind of wasted at that point. And then when you consider more assets that the military could have had, then it makes even the introduction even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Not to
even
mention,
then, I would also. Sorry.
Like I was also going to say the other thing too is that another problem comes into play, where is that when you're considering all these things where Godzilla could have died before he even gets to that reveal, the question then becomes, why make Godzilla so weak? And if it's because you want to make it more realistic, and you're again moving away from like what makes Godzilla, then the point then arises, why make a Godzilla movie in the first place? Because Gareth does the same thing of making Godzilla realistic, but keeps the core aspects of what makes Godzilla. And then even Minus does something similar in that aspect too.
I would also posit the the fact that in regards to like the payoff itself, Gareth Edwards has gone on record for saying that the movie is basically creating anticipation. You know, it's showing you bits and pieces on purpose.
It's a slow burn. 98 really isn't a slow burn, but it tries to be on multiple occasions.
Yeah, because it tries to be, its nature as a slow burn, because it's like Zim said at the very beginning, they're two different. Godzilla is used in two different ways in the movie, in both movies. with 98, it's not really much of a slow burn. It's just
Action.
I don't even know. Yeah, pretty much just action. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
else to call it. It's very
Yeah, it's more
general,
along the
very
line. It's more along the
straightforward.
lines. It's more along the lines tonally or pacing wise, or just structurally to what came before, like the Heisei films, and what would come after G2K.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
would
even
say
I would say even G2K is
98.
closer to 2014 in that aspect because
Yeah,
both films have a significant portion where Godzilla isn't seen. I would say that 2000 does a better job in terms of building up
yeah.
Godzilla,
I was,
but
I
both
was
of those
about to,
films
I was
have a
about to
significant
get to that.
runtime to they both have a
Yeah,
Yeah,
significant
I was gonna
runtime
say
to do that.
84. I was gonna say 84. To an
you
extent,
know, 84,
at least
84 works.
98.
The problem with
I'd also bring,
84
I'd also bring up
is
GMK. I'd also bring up GMK
that could work.
for all four of them, for all four monsters
Yeah.
featured. Like we barely get glimpses of them, and then by the time, and then we have that on-course collision, both of the reveal of Baragon and Godzilla, and then we get further glimpses of Mothra and Ghidorah as the film continues, and we further establish Godzilla, and then we get Mothra and Ghidorah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very peppered in, very balanced, very like everybody gets their moment to shine pretty much, and there's also a proper establishment for each of the, at least with GMK in particular, and 84 to an extent. We see at the very beginning actually when we see that giant bug creature that attacks.
Yeah, Chakras.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shockerus.
Is that the name?
Yeah, Chakras.
Yes, Shockerus. Jinx.
Oh, Shocker. You got me thinking of that comic Shakura. Well, never mind.
You're good.
No.
But yeah, no, like I would say those are more comparable to what 98 was doing than whatever it is 2014 was doing. They're two completely different. Because
Yeah.
I saw this video a long time ago. I forgot the name of the creator, but basically the movie is trying to create tension. I'm not entirely in agreement that the movie is like a masterclass in tension. However, it does use tension to its advantage by not just the music and the framing and the cinematography and just how none of the monsters can fit the frame, and how every like the camera is positioned at the human eye level, so like 6 feet above the ground, or realistically wherever you would put a camera, like at a rooftop, a helicopter shot, the shot from an apartment building shooting out the window, that kind of thing. It's also just how the monsters move, the environments. There's a lot of dust, debris, right? Fire, rain. And this is something that I almost brought up GXK because that, god damn it. But GVK in particular, I remember Braden did an interview with Richard Cow, one of the VFX people behind GVK. Because of the destruction that was being caused, they had to reduce the amount of debris and smoke that would naturally be caused by that fight, which made it look, even though it made it more visible and legible, it diminished the sense of scale significantly, because at that point there were no dust particles to contrast against the monsters very well. There was no rain, nothing in the environment to help. So all of that was used in 2014 and amplified to enhance the mystery and the tension, which is something completely different than what 98 was doing, where yes, there were times where the environment helped obscure Zilla, but in other cases it wasn't. When Zilla showed up, it wasn't in a way that he could really just hide behind darkness and debris or anything. He was being very public. He literally just rises from the ocean and starts attacking New York. So the camera is actively avoiding Zilla in this particular instance, at least when we first see him. Her, I keep forgetting. Vagina.
It's
Him, her, it's whatever.
It has
Hey.
okay. So yeah, the camera keeps avoiding Zilla, and because it keeps avoiding Zilla, the whole idea is, oh, we're being attacked by a giant monster, and we're trying to not reveal what it is too quickly because we're trying to tease the audience, but it's not for the same purposes as Gareth Edwards was doing. What that purpose was I honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe they were teasing the design. Maybe they it was easier to not show the entire monster. Maybe it was more convenient. I honestly couldn't tell you. But
Are you talking
In
about
reference to who?
well, hold on. Are you talking about
98,
98?
I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, the very beginning when we.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think the reason
Yeah.
why is mainly because just because the CGI quality wasn't quite there, especially during like a daytime scene. So when they show them in full, it's like at night, where they could just more easily hide the blemishes.
Pardon?
No,
By the
it
way,
wasn't at nighttime. It was in the rain. It was in the rain.
Well,
when we got it.
they're all in rain. Granted, all the scenes in that movie are in rain.
I
Technically
mean,
not
like
true, but
98.
By the way, guys, I just want to let you guys know if you guys are hearing any background noise on my end, that's my brothers. They're watching Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the second one.
understandable.
Okay.
What's 17 more years, Minecraft World?
I can always start
can al-
again.
Make
Have
it
more
another
brothers.
brother.
No,
Okay.
Yes.
no, I care about my brothers enough to not do anything stupid to them. If anything, we're doing something stupid together.
Exactly. What do you suggest?
What 17 more years?
Oh, you want to take this on, bro? I hope every side of your pillow is warm tonight. I hope that when you go to turn on your air conditioning, you don't know which button is which. Goes higher.
What is going on back there?
I still hear them. What have I done?
Oh my god!
Good.
This is why men live shorter lives than women.
Oh my god!
Fulfilling your destiny.
Oh my lord!
Henceforth, you shall be known as.
Somebody clip that, please.
Oh boy.
Somebody please clip that.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, Black.
Me? What did I do?
What did I do? Everything.
Including your mom?
Ah!
I got him. Okay.
Got
I said my piece in regards to 98 and 2014. Like the methods used to present Godzilla are different. The way the environment functions is different. You could call it a limitation of the technology of their time. It's fine, but honestly, I think for the year 98, Zilla doesn't look that bad, actually.
Well,
Could
yeah, I
look
mean,
worse.
Pretty good. It actually has some of the best CGI of the time. I wouldn't say there are moments throughout where the CGI lacks.
Yeah.
For the majority of the time, though, Godzilla is actually like above. I still argue it's above the Lost World in a lot of aspects.
I don't
I
agree
haven't
with
watched
that at
Lost
all.
World. I haven't seen Lost World in a while, so I couldn't tell you.
I've
only seen it once, so
I can tell you. I mean, considering I have watched Lost World at least a few months back, so it's a little more fresh in my mind. I can tell you for a fact, Black Vic is lying.
Oh, he's
I
lying.
believe that completely,
Bro,
100%.
I've
I
seen
don't trust a
both
single
movies
thing he
as
says.
well.
I don't trust a thing. If he tells you snow is white, he's lying. I can't do a Scottish accent. That was from God of War Ragnarok. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I can't do a
yeah.
Sindri accent. Yeah.
That's not
it
Sindri.
was-
That's Mimir.
No, what's his name? Mimir. Sindri, Mimir. Same thing. They're Norse.
Actually, no.
Same thing.
Mimir's Celtic.
Whatever. They're all the same.
Don't be racist. The Celts have had enough.
Although, I also have to just
Like the
personally
Irish.
disagree with. I disagree with you, Black, on saying that the way, specifically the cinematography or the settings, depict Godzilla differently. I would have to disagree. I'd say they're more on par than what you're probably saying, because a lot of what Gareth and Roland Emmerich did is a lot of the same things, using the environment to obscure Godzilla in certain ways. And like I would say I can argue for both of them. You can say they're forced to just not look at Godzilla. Like I don't
Vic,
think
I have
that...
the movie pulled up right now. I am watching the movie. The camera is avoiding Godzilla. The only time the environment hides Zilla in this particular instance is when he's underwater. That's the most you can say the environment is hiding it. But
But
that's
Gareth does
really
the
it.
same thing. Gareth does the same thing. He avoids
No,
Godzilla.
he doesn't. He uses.
Yes, he does.
He uses the mist. Okay, I'll bring you. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Literally, the first time we like see Godzilla out of the water, all anyone has to do is pan up, and we'll see Godzilla.
The problem also is the fact that 198 also has to hide Godzilla, because had they revealed the design sooner, less people probably would have seen the movie to begin with.
Where
I
is
don't
it?
know about that.
No, I will definitely.
With the marketing, sure, but with
the
film,
marketing as well as with
fun
the
to
toys.
build up Godzilla.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that the toys for 2014 got revealed, whereas with 90 they did everything in their power to avoid the design, because they knew for a fact how different it was and how people would have reacted. And when the reviews came out, a lot of the main reactions were due to the fact that Godzilla doesn't look like Godzilla. So another big thing that the film has to do, on top of waiting for the reveal itself, is to draw out having to actually see Godzilla.
Did the Trendmasters line for 98 like show off the design before the movie was released or after?
It came out night of midnight. They released the first toys. There were a few leaks beforehand of the design, but
I mean, with the internet being what it is,
straight to our faces of Godzilla fans.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna pull up black screen right now.
I don't know, because not to mention the fact that like 2014's whole 2014's design essentially got leaked way before 98's was, and that didn't really dampen most people's perception of the film coming in, for the most part.
Yeah, I'm pausing little by little because I don't want to have Vic's channel smitten off the face of the earth.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
destroy the child.
There's like a 9-second rule. Basically, every 9 seconds.
It's usually, I thought it was 10, but if it's not,
it's 9.
I'll remember that now.
Yeah,
it's a rule that many YouTubers use, Mauler in particular.
Yeah, really? I thought it was 10. I thought it was a 10-second rule, not 9. But
yeah,
okay.
I think it might have been shorter though, because I uploaded my the first act of my video for Godzilla vs Kong to see how the copyright system worked. It managed to grab a really sizable chunk of the footage, and I was like, really? But it didn't take the video down, which is weird, because like the first time I did it, it completely obliterated the video off the face of the earth. But this time now, it seems like the copyright claim is a little bit more lenient. I don't know what changed. I don't know how they managed to grab all of that, because I did try to make the editing as short as possible, like the clips as short as possible. But see, here in this particular scene, you see hiding behind the smoke and the debris right there. That's Exhibit A. I'm going to unshare. I don't know what my screen temporarily.
I can remove it here and bring it. Oh no! There you go.
Oh
yeah, just because I don't want, because I'm trying to shift to a different scene and I don't want to. Yeah. Exhibit B. What's Exhibit B?
Yo, mama.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
I would say Exhibit.
Actually, you know what? Go ahead, do it. I don't care.
You won't.
I'd say Exhibit B would be Godzilla pushing the Muto.
I was going to point to. No, I was gonna point. Yeah, I was gonna point to the Muto, the female Muto showing up to the male Muto, but that's not Godzilla, so it doesn't count.
But like when we actually cut back to the fight after. Actually, no. When Godzilla's like rising above Chinatown, you see the fog, and then you see the.
I was gonna point out like directly after, because I'm at the Halo jump right now. I'm skipping through the Halo jump.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
after the Halo jump, not the scene with the visor. That's a different one. That's not really environment. That's just the position of the camera. But directly after the Halo jump.
Oh yeah, there was like a shot of his tail, like kind of going through. Well.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, never mind. No, that's the Muto giving birth. Never mind. Minecraft
No,
World,
it's
you
the
were right.
sequence-
It's the legendary roar. You were right.
Yeah, it's the roar. It's the sequence after the Mito gives birth.
Dang old Clanker was right for once, it looks like.
Shut the fuck up.
Clanker.
Honestly, the idea of a Minecraft World being a robot is actually it would be cosmically funny.
It would.
I mean, I am autistic, and my favorite Ninjago character is Zane. So
001 boy.
How do you say clanker in binary?
0 wait no 0
Okay, have it
you're off by
memorized.
one. You're off by one digit.
That is aspirational racism. I respect you.
Send him up and knock him down.
Now I'm just
wishes he was this
imagining. You know that one song where it's like, now here comes number 13 from the 3-point line. Just putting that in the background for every time I do that now.
There are two.
Alice says,
those are two sequences that we need clipped.
Alice says, which Godzilla character would you smash? Wait,
Godzilla character.
I was gonna say the twins. I was gonna say the twins from the anime trilogy, but I don't know how old they are. So
I also have Bug.
I don't care.
Furry.
That's not even. No, what? No, that's not even. That's not even the
Bug
right
lover. You
okay?
filthy,
See, that's more.
you filthy
listen,
bug lover.
Have you read Invincible? Have you read Invincible? Okay. The Thraxons, they got some BBLs, okay? They got some really nice BBLs.
I knew you were a traitor from humanity the moment I heard you.
I heard they didn't do the comic justice though.
TBLs. I don't give a no. Shut up, Vic. Shut up.
What?
Okay, shut
the
up about Invincible.
Thraxons.
What would you guys say if I told you that I wouldn't mind? What would you guys say if I told you that I wouldn't mind banging Emma Russell because Vera Farmiga's kind of hot to me right now?
Really?
Yeah.
Simp.
You like
Actually,
the
no,
milk?
I can't
I would not even, dude. Asa Gonzalez is right there. She was in GVK. Asa Gonzalez, dude.
Oh yeah.
have you
Oh
seen
shit. That's
those-
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. You no, scratch that. Scratch that. Okay. Maya Simmons.
Have you
Maya
seen
Simmons.
those calcium cannons?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I take back calling you a simp. I can't even say that.
Yeah. Those calcium cannons have me barking like a dog.
Oh god, there are so many. Oh, God,
Okay. Yeah.
there are so
It
many
comes on. That's
movies.
right. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
All
Also,
right.
by the way, Minecraft World, there's something else I need to say to you.
Don't. You
01101010101101010101010101010.
Peace out, Alice.
That's just to call you a filthy clanker in binary. I want to insult you in your own language.
They're laughing in the background.
Oh. Okay. So
There you go.
this
I
scene-
can't be bad
okay.
at that.
What was
I
that?
can't even be mad at that. I can't even be pissed about that. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
Frieza would be impressed by that level of racism.
Frieza
Let's just chalk it up to
wishes.
prejudice. Okay, so back to the filthy monkey. I mean, goddamn lizard.
Have a goodbye,
Yes.
Tom. Thank you, Alice.
Um,
You've been awesome as always.
So in this scene in
That's
particular,
what I get for letting my brother rant.
see, in this scene, even though we already know what Godzilla looks like, even though we already know how big he is, the film insists that Godzilla must aura farm, so they make sure that all of the debris is concentrated in this area to make him look foreboding. This is completely intentional. These kinds of shots and how the environment is used is not present in 98. I am going to unshare to move to Exhibit C. The one
Wingard
that
did it better. At least I could see Godzilla in his film.
Vic,
Shut
I'm going to
up.
shove something down your mouth that you are not going to like.
It better not be napalm.
It will be napalm.
Rooney, you do.
What did you think I
realize
was
he likes
referring to?
napalm.
I feel like among
Rooney
other
says
things, he might
napalm
be
can
eating.
kill Godzilla. Quote him on that.
I'm pretty sure he eats things other than napalm, like crayons and sand.
He's not a marine, dude.
Okay, then sand.
I
Also,
don't like
marine.
sand.
Okay, what
Sparking
the?
ate sand.
Oh,
Dude,
that's why
what?
he failed. See, you know what? You know what? Proxima Caesar ate. He ate
Breakfast of
coochie. That's what he ate.
Champions. Oh, yeah, that too.
What?
Monk coochie. Monkey coochie. Monk
Oh
coochie.
my
Nah,
god.
Sparking canonically fucks.
Yeah, not consensually. That doesn't count. That makes him an idiot. That makes him a
Shit, true
jerk.
that.
I believe it.
Bro,
I
it's the
believe
Andrew
it. I
Tate
believe
of
it if
Kong.
Caesar. I believe it if Caesar was Ace. If Proximus was Ace.
Whoa, what's this?
Was what?
You got a new profile
Oh.
pic there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, finish this up. So,
All right.
Cool.
Nice.
Another example. Although this isn't. Well, you know what? I think this isn't about hiding anymore. I'm just posting clips of the movie now. Let me switch to 98.
it's like, bro, I'm not even posting clips. I'm just aura farming at this point.
Yeah, like Godzilla is aura farming in 2014 because they make sure to increase the sense of foreboding every time he shows up. When does he show up? 98. The inferior, the Tardzilla. Zilla.
Depends. He appears technically 25 minutes in and then 45 after that. Give or take. A few
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. I got it. I am going to share my screen.
Like the first
and-
New York attack is 25 minutes in, give or take.
Yeah, you're right. Here it is.
I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
Vic, don't insult
Yeah, so
Sea
we see
Monster
him-
like that.
Hey, I'm
we
not
notice-
from Manhattan, okay? Don't worry, I'm not from that.
I know.
Notice-
I know.
Sea Monsters isn't like, oi, Zim! You're from Boston, Zim!
No,
Wanna
it's
see
like
my bagels, Zim?
See, associating you with Manhattan is the insult. That's the problem here.
Yeah,
It's
people assuming that when I
it's-
say I'm from...
It's racial
Here's
stereotyping, just like Zim calling me a clanker.
Here's the thing. People saying that, asking me like where I'm from, and I say I'm from New York, you know, and they prove it to me. Oh, you mean from like New York City? I have to be like, no, motherfucker, upstate. That's
Just
Yeah.
double down and say yeah, because why not?
Just be like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Because that's what I do. Like the moment people start calling me a Puerto Rican, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I am.
yeah. All right.
It's like, what do
You're
you
like
Um,
Iron Mouse? Do you know Iron Mouse?
I don't know. who
Hermes
that
is Puerto Rican?
I believe so.
Now we're nope. Puerto Rico's never becoming a state in the United States.
Hey, it's better than Dominican Republic. It's better than us. You don't want to go down there. No?
I've been there.
Oh,
So,
that-
yeah.
I've played these games before. You don't want to go down there.
I played these games before.
I was told
yeah.
by one of my friends, better to be the dumbest man in America than the smartest man in Dominican Republic. And I was like, true.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written.
True. Okay, so Zilla, Vic, I want you to play. I want you to pay close attention, and it's not playing. Hold on. Okay, so it's playing on my end, but it's not playing on your end. That is weird.
Depends. I can still see it showing. Can you guys?
It's like skipping.
It's
Yeah, it's kind of
static.
skipping on my end.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like pauses
Kinda,
for a
yeah.
second and then just skips.
I
Yeah,
thought that was
'cause
really
it,
pausing.
Yeah, because in the VLC app it's showing just fine, but in StreamYard it looks wonky. It looks like jittery, like it's just
Wait, is
skipping,
that-
like you guys said.
Wait, is that what you're using to watch this VLC?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
What is that? Like your sister or something?
Not like a personal attack or
No.
something?
Not the no. No.
No.
You have a sister. You
No.
my
Oh, that reminds me.
person.
That reminds me of a joke from Duckman, where Duckman is talking to this woman. Right, they're flirting, they're kissing, and it's like the story of how Duckman met his late wife, and then it turns out that she was cheating on her husband, and so he arrives, and then she kisses her, and then Duckman pops up, and because she's from she's Amish. Because she's Amish, he pops up from behind the sofa and sees the two kissing, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't know you had a brother."
I'm dead. I'm so dead. I'm
That's
dead.
my favorite.
Oh, man.
That's my favorite joke in Duckman. It caught
What is
me
this
so
stream
off guard.
What has this stream become? What
We
is
have
happening?
so
We've
many
done
streams,
Godzilla
I don't even
Edition
know.
Smasher Pass. We've got robot racism.
Good.
What else have we got so far?
We got ranted from the robot's brother, apparently.
What has the stream become? You could use that to describe
Republic
just
didn't go far enough.
Like every third of all the streams that we've done combined.
We should blow me up in 4.
No, real.
Okay, so let's try again. Take it from the top,
Take it
and
from the
it's
top
still
now.
doing the thing.
Get
Yeah,
it.
I don't know.
Go ahead, me going. That's what I like when I'm not the person in charge of stream. I can just do whatever I want.
I mean, let's see. I could probably pull up on my end, just on YouTube or something.
Yeah, just this
pull up the
thing.
opening.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where can I get the clip? And we're gonna start. Okay, let me see. Bullets. No, I gotta exit. So let's see. Stop that. I'll share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see this. Can y'all see it?
I can see it now.
Yes.
Little
All
moment.
right, I'm gonna just play. Let's see, I'm gonna.
Did you press play already, or okay? There it is.
There we go.
There
Now
we
it's fine. All right.
Notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
There it is.
So notice how nothing in the environment is truly hiding it. It's the camera that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
with Gareth Edwards, it's a combination of both the environment and the camera.
Yeah. And don't say that the cars are hiding it, because they go in it. They come in and out of the screen really quickly to where it doesn't. It's weird. They don't.
And even then, like, you don't have to focus on this scene. Just go to the next frame. Like,
Yeah.
go to the next shot.
It's
Not that
JD
one.
Lyles.
That one. That one.
Yeah,
See,
that one.
The environment is not hiding Godzilla. Zilla. It's not hiding Zilla. I need to work on my prejudice. I'm really bad at it. Anyway, Zilla is not being hidden by the environment. He's hidden by the camera. It's a different tactic. It's completely different to what Gareth is doing.
But how is that scene different from the first clip you showed?
Zim, do you mind taking this? I'm gonna go scream into a pillow.
Like, I would say, like, the issue with it is the fact that, like Black is saying, there is no obscuring via debris or mist or smoke or anything before Godzilla appears. The closest that you could arguably say there is obscuring is the boat itself. But by comparison, the scenes are not the same because the scene in 2014 is obscuring, but ultimately leads to a full reveal of Godzilla there because at least in this case, you want to see Godzilla in all his glory. And at least that the scene that Black showed, I would say a better comparison would be like the airport scene if you could pull that up, or even the scenes that were leading up to him appearing at the airport. Because again, the problem is that with 98, they do a whole lot to stop you seeing Godzilla as much as you can until you ultimately have to. And that's when essentially a lot of people say the film starts to fall apart, is when you finally get to see Godzilla in all his glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an exercise in restraint, but I think 2014 overplayed the restraint a bit too much, I think. I think that too much restraint to the point where it became just teasing and not in the fun way.
I don't know. Maybe I just kind of appreciate the restraint, somewhat, because it's mainly just kind of like when we do see him, it leaves in full glory. It has all the more impact essentially anytime he shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's part of why
Look
I
at this
say
guy.
G14's. Damn, what a
doesn't
chin.
he look like he looks familiar?
That guy?
Yeah, he looks familiar.
know.
I can't explain
It's
it. He
JD
almost
Lyles
looks,
again.
It almost looks like Russian Badger. I can't put my finger on it.
Wait, where are you saying where?
This guy on
He
screen,
kind of does!
he looks like a more mature version.
Hold
of,
on.
Russian
What's
Badger.
funnier is the fact
somebody-
is that Russian Badger has taken a picture in front of the Shin Godzilla statue.
Wait,
Oh, that's
really?
cool.
Yeah. When he went to Japan, he took a picture in front of the Shin Godzilla statue.
JD
Oh, of
Lees.
course he went to
Oh,
Japan.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right.
But yeah, here Godzilla barely appears in the frame, but also notice how the water is still clinging onto him, and how it creates this because of the abundance of water, how it creates this sort of cloak of not haze, but like I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a VFX. I wish Brayden was here. Why is he never here?
Because of the restraining order.
Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I try my best.
You tried so far and got so hard.
And then in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, this is it. We're back to this scene again because of the example. Look how heavy the debris is. Look how heavy the smoke
Yeah,
from
look
the
at that.
debris is.
Yeah,
That's
Look at all
you
that
can
collateral
barely
damage.
Look at all that sexy debris. Look at that.
you can barely see what's beyond there. You can barely, and I think the Muto's powers in particular really work well with setting up the atmosphere as well because of the nature of the EMP. It blacks out everything, so your only sources of light would be fires and flashlights and flares, which would help make which on top of the already present mist and dust and debris makes a really, really ominous atmosphere, which I think a lot of Godzilla movies lack. A lot of them have it, but this one in particular has it like the most.
So
it helps.
And that's why I really love the visual direction in 2014. It looked like the atmosphere is just. Mwah.
I like to believe that part of the
There's-
reason why the Mutos have an EMP power was to create the atmosphere itself. You don't have any artificial lighting. You can only rely on natural lighting, and because a lot of the action takes place at night, it creates ominous visuals, which I'm pretty sure looked incredible in theater.
The day
With, like, the home-
sequences
In
are-
IMAX,
the day-
yeah, they looked really good in IMAX.
Oh yeah.
The day sequences were almost as if a respite, and I think that is phenomenal. Which in a way, I would say the day sequences being a respite is what makes the Golden Gate Bridge sequence and everything that leads up to the final battle directly even more impactful. Because, oh, we're in the end game now. The day sequences are no longer a time to breathe.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
Yeah. So it's like, whereas like with 98, like you have like so many sequences with Godzilla, or Zilla just kind of popping up. And so, but anytime, like every time they cut away from Godzilla, like there isn't really like with 2014, like the gradual, like sort of like reveals of like the other monsters, like with the male Muto showing up, increases tension because like, oh shit, there's a big monster going around, and then you have the big reveal with Godzilla at Hawaii, and it's like, oh, now we got Godzilla not really coming in, but the title monster, but he's also like chasing after the Muto. And then female Muto pops up, and we find out why the male Muto and Godzilla are up and about in the first place is because they're all in a collision course with the female Muto, and there's like this tension that kind of remains palpable, like for the duration of the film. Whereas with 98, when Zilla shows up, like. It just kind of happens, really, and when he's not there, there isn't really like, okay, yeah, you have characters, like just trying to figure out like why Godzilla's there in the first place, but the tone and the atmosphere, it's like just all off to the point where it just seems like there's not really any urgency there, which is something we had in 2014.
The intensity, everything,
Zilla. Yeah, G14 is a ticking time bomb. Zilla really isn't at all. Like there's barely, if any, ticking time bomb element.
Well, the problem though is I'm sorry to cut you off there, but like the problem with Zilla is that it's supposed to be a ticking time bomb because the egg's hatching.
Yeah.
Well, even when we find that out,
that's the problem. But even then, we don't get a frame of reference for how long it takes. We don't even really. It's like
there isn't a really ticking time bomb because the eggs themselves hatch whenever the plot needs them to happen.
And the eggs themselves are a complete non-issue anyway because of how easily they're disposed of. So it just makes the entire thing meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, the 98 gives you the illusion that there's tries to set up the illusion that there's a time bomb and fails miserably, whereas 2014 shows you that there's a time bomb and makes it very clear enough to where you're like, okay, there's a time bomb right there.
I think the whole point of the thesis as well. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to compare it quickly to like G2K as well, which since Zim last time you compared G2K to G14, G2K pulls this off better as well, where the time bomb is how long will it take for the aliens to adapt to this planet, to understand what they're up against and what they're doing, or figure out what they're going to be, and can we stop them before they do anything? That's part of the tension with G2K. Same with Pacific Rim. Part of the tension with Pacific Rim is how long until the problem gets so bad we can't even punch it in the face anymore.
Even the ticking time bomb, and even as poorly written as it was, Attack on Titan, the ticking time bomb was how much of the world is left before Eren. But ultimately, the thesis being presented here, Vic, is the fact that the two philosophies are different of showing Godzilla, so way too different for them. Not to say that different things can be compared, but like this is just so different that to say like one did it better than the other is on top of the fact that 2014 did a lot of stuff better than 98, and even
everything better actually.
And even then, 2014 still has its own problems presenting the monster. Let's say like the build up. I do agree with your general. I'm agreeing with Vic. Wow. I agree with the general.
When that happens.
Heresy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, heresy.
The black heresy.
Life has gone downhill for me when I'm starting to agree with Vic.
Heresy.
Guys, I think the platoon stream broke him.
When he starts agreeing with Vic more than me, I never wanted this. I never wanted to unleash my legions.
All I wanted was the truth.
If I cannot save it from your failures, my ex-husband, then let the galaxy burn.
But know this, all I've ever wanted was the truth. Did you see that video, the Winnie the Pooh eating the word of Lorgar?
Oh no! Send that to me now.
Fuck.
Put it in general chat in Zim Surfer, please.
I need that.
I need to find out what that is.
Winnie the Pooh is a word bearer. This has got me reeling right now.
My God.
Yeah, just Winnie the Pooh is like a heretic Astartes. That's
No, just what's it called? Winnie the Pooh. He's about to just crush some poor human's prey to the pulp. Oh, bother.
It's funny because like earlier this week I was watching the Dubas Goobas animation.
What could back Black Runny? So what was like the specific thing you were agreeing on me on again?
Vic is so desperate for that. What did you agree with me on, Black? I need this.
I just sent it in the chat. So basically I agree with the general idea that God's the usage of the hiding the monsters. I think that there's a shorter term for that, but I think just restraint. Yeah, I'm gonna call it restraint. The restraint principle that you're talking about. I think I agree with you on the basic premise that 98 did it better in the sense that we could feel, even though he didn't appear, we could feel his presence. Like, it's not just about him showing up, but it's also just how much he impacts the plot. Although 2014 has Godzilla impact the plot substantially, it's not enough compared to some like in 98, where he was really front and center. He was consequential to absolutely everything, not just partially but completely. So whereas Godzilla's involvement was necessary partially, it was also handled a little bit. It was undercooked on top of the fact that because he appeared so little, and he was basically like a side character in his own story. He also, we don't know much about him beyond his role. Like, his role is his character. That's really it. Like, what the theme surrounding him of balance, that is who and what he is, and nothing more. Whereas Zilla is more of an animal, which, although it's not as complex as, something like GMK, for example, it's still something. So it's some level of characterization. So it's very basic in that sense. So it's kind of, it's meh. It's okay.
The other thing too
but,
is that
yeah,
the film also, not even just like Emmerich himself saying he wanted a realistic take of Godzilla. Even in the film, Nick says that he is just an animal. So you can't really attribute any higher thinking or philosophy to what Godzilla does.
Exactly.
In that sense either.
Exactly.
And that's where it's like people are like, oh, we should feel sad that Godzilla's babies die. Well, if Godzilla is just purely an animal, there is no deeper philosophy in terms of thoughts, whether they be logically coherent or not. Godzilla is just an animal lashing out because its nest is destroyed and now it's instinctively angry. And because of the fact that Godzilla is just an animal, not only an animal, but a mutated one that shouldn't even exist to begin with, it is logically consistent, if not a ought that people, in this case, humanity, should kill Godzilla. The problem is that they try to make Godzilla more sympathetic by making him just an animal, but then that strengthens the argument that Godzilla should die. Because if Godzilla is a new species brought about by hubris, then the best thing for it to do, if Godzilla is going to kill all humanity by outcompeting us, is to kill him.
Yeah. I mean, I do. That's it. Kind of loops. It kind of strays from what Godzilla typically is and should be, and then it kind of just loops back around into, oh, we need to kill him. He's not a good. We shouldn't have him around, which is ultimately still somehow kind of good, actually. At least in the more traditional Godzilla stories like -1. But yeah, no, like I with Vic, I agree with the premise of your argument. Where I disagree is how do I articulate this in a way you can
Everything
understand.
else.
So I don't want to be too reductionist and say everything else because there was some truth to what he said peppered in here and there, but it, particularly with his appearance, for example, that's where I disagree because the point of the appearances is one is more theatrical and ominous and, as the kids say, aura farming. It's supposed to be him aura farming. Whereas in '98,
Oh
he
God.
literally just shows up. He literally just shows up and does his thing. Like it's not bad that he shows up. It's not good. It's just a neutral thing that happens. He shows up, does his thing, and the camera arbitrarily decides to not show us the design completely. Again, could just be the CGI, and it could just be for simplicity's sake, but the camera decides to arbitrarily obscure him, even though there's not a whole lot that could reasonably obscure him. Whereas with 2014, it's stylized in such a way that it uses the environment and how it would behave in such a catastrophe to its advantage. Like how not you guys remember that scene in Batman v Superman where Bruce Wayne runs into the building that's collapsing and all the debris is running directly into his face. Yeah, that's pretty much how debris works, right? And in a realistic Godzilla movie, there would be a lot
I
of
was gonna compare it to Cloverfield. I was gonna compare it to
that one too.
Cloverfield.
That's another one. Both the Black Zero event from the DCEU and Cloverfield were inspired by 9/11, so everything looks 9/11 esque. And
Yeah.
even 2014, like it takes some cues. I mean, 9/11 did not invent the concept of buildings collapsing. Let's be real here. But
I may not it didn't invent the topic, but if there is any piece of like video that has sunk itself into the public zeitgeist that affected the vast majority of a people on a significant level, it would be 9/11 and how we captured the towers falling. And I think that's why that imagery is often what people use, because it is still it's essentially there in the minds of people living today.
Yeah, like you look at the shot of like the Wayne Enterprise building collapsing in BVS, and the as Bruce run towards it, and like a one particular shot of a building collapsing in Cloverfield, how can you not think 9/11? When you see that,
Yeah.
And how the debris moves.
Even like 3 years earlier, War of the Worlds had a very similar things, sort of. I'd say with the tripod's initial appearance, it's sort of an inverse, but also equally as catastrophic.
Yeah,
I think part of the reason too is because this is pre 9/11 America, and so because this is pre 9/11 America, it's not going to have that kind of sensitivity to how debris and how dust and stuff like that is going to affect the environment and the atmosphere.
The Chrysler building joke would not fly. Now,
no, it would not. Rowan Everett probably would have been publicly executed if he tried to make that joke post 9/11.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, I think that's also kind of funny how people who talk about how the DeBont script wouldn't work because of the Twin Towers falling. The same would definitely apply had 98 come out. I'd say like people still have issues with it, because I have heard people talk about the fact that it does come off as insensitive.
Yeah. On the subject of 9/11, I don't know if this is true, but I saw on Twitter a news article that said that in the DCU, 9/11 has not happened yet.
What the actual fuck?
Oh, because in that one shot, the Twin Towers aren't there, or they are there? Or no, wait. I think I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I think that was Fantastic Four.
No. I'm talking about Superman. DCU. I don't know if this is real or not. I hope it's fake because
that
Why?
That's
Why would
just
you? That's
Yeah.
that's such a strange thing to like. That's like oddly specific. Like,
I was
okay, why 9/11?
that's a
I was always
choice.
under the impression I was that's interesting. I was
Mhm.
always under
I
the impression that Metropolis was sort of the Boston equivalent rather than
No,
like
Metropolis has
Manhattan.
always
I always
been
thought Gotham
Metropolis
was
and
the
Gotham
Manhattan.
have always been essentially they are both New York, but like that's the like I'd say like when people think of like Cheery in New York, kind of New York, they think of Metropolis, but like the thing is like no one calls New York or like Manhattan Gotham anymore. So Gotham has like Gotham even as a term, it's more associated with Batman than New York at this point.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's like the
such
same
a
thing as like
weird.
how when people think of Arkham, they think of DC, not Lovecraft.
I mean,
Yeah.
because the thing is, like, it almost makes sense because this is a world where superheroes have existed for 300 years, where metahumans have existed. So if they knew about 9/11, they would be involved in stopping it. But then, what does that mean on the War on Terror if metahumans were involved? We're reaching Watchmen territory. You know what happened last time with Watchmen? Yeah, like not a lot of good
Yeah.
things happen with Watchmen.
Yeah,
Things get
It's such a
and that
stupid
includes
story.
and that and
things
that
get
includes
very
the DC.
tentacular.
Hmm.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
you can't have a
only thing I
Watchmen
like about
story.
Watchmen is the one thing that the creator hates, and I love that.
What is
What?
it?
Mhm.
Rorschach.
Oh yeah, I love Rorschach. He's my favorite.
Again, since it's not my stream, I can say this: Alan Moore can suck the blackest part of my nuts.
You seem to understand. I'm not
I don't want
lecturing
him to.
you.
Okay.
You're lecturing on me.
I don't want him to
Okay,
suck
Rooney,
me. Zim, please. I don't want him to suck
Rooney,
me. Why would you say that?
Rooney. I'm just curious. Since you're the Snyder fan or Snyder expertise man here, what are your thoughts on 300?
I really like it.
I love 300.
It's so
Uh,
it's sometimes it's unintentionally funny, but I really like 300.
I mean, the memes are right there. It's just been indelibly like
Like
molded.
300 is like one of those movies, like it is not just one of those, not one of those movies. I mean, one of those stories that Zack Snyder was perfect for making.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, Pointless. I've talked about him a lot. The comic was kind of like his style in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
It was like made for him.
Yeah,
So,
and it's
I
like one of
honestly
those
don't
things where
care
it's
that
like
it's
because the
like
graphic
not.
novel was so stylized, it fits perfectly with him. And oftentimes I'm big on like criticizing like historical accuracy here, historical accuracy there, but because it is a graphic novel that is itself hyper stylized in its depiction
it's
of these
historical
events.
fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even care if it's accurate or not. It just looks so cool.
it is peak.
Screw accuracy. This shit is awesome.
Unlike Napoleon, where
Emmerich
they
said
turned him
that.
into a cuck. I mean, he was always a cuck,
Oh
but
God!
Well, the problem with
dude,
Napoleon
dude.
versus 300 is that Napoleon isn't like an adaptation of a dramatization of Napoleon's life. It is just trying to tell Napoleon's life, and it's just wrong. 300 is a graphic novel that is a stylized depiction of the Battle of Thermopylae. They are not the
Yeah,
same.
it's kind of like
Yeah,
what you could say is like 300, the graphic novel and the Zack Snyder film. It would essentially just kind of be like this is kind of like how someone would illustrate how Leonidas and his 300 Spartans stood their ground against the Persians.
I just realized
Yeah,
I
that's why
looked
it's
there's
called
like a
300.
theory out there. Yeah, there's
Black.
like a
I just
theory out
looked
there
in
that
the general chat, and I just realized that the Woody the Pooh thing is from Burial Goods, and I'm like based.
I love burial goods.
I love it. There's two videos that he did that were dinosaur related that I've been using as like essentially mood pieces for the novella. So based
My
on
favorite
Burial
video.
Pilled.
Sorry, my favorite video that he's made was the one where I think it was one of the characters of Sesame Street. I think it was Grover. Grover dies and goes to heaven, brings a Glock to heaven with full intent to shoot to kill God. It's my favorite one. It's so absurd. I'm here for you, and I got nothing to lose other than this gun I stole before I died.
I'm an atheist, so fuck you.
my favorite moment, my other favorite moment is like when the story goes like Grover wonders if God was that frog he pushed down the stairs.
No.
It's Kermit. He's talking about Kermit. He pushed Kermit down the stairs to heaven.
Oh my god!
No, Kermit.
Push
Oh,
me
I love
down
it.
that stairs, Grover. Where'd you do that?
Oh god. But yeah, back to Lizard. So
yeah, I wanted
Vic,
to circle. I did want to circle back to a few arguments ago because there was a long line of things said that I disagree with.
it's
But were you
okay.
going to
It's
say
okay
anything
to be
before
wrong.
that?
No, it's okay to be wrong. Don't worry.
Okay, well, okay. So then, circling back to specifically the clips, I still see no real difference or significant difference between Godzilla's first arrival in New York and then Godzilla arriving in Honolulu, because
You see what I
fundamentally
mean?
they are still the same.
You
How are
see-
they the same?
okay. Yeah, now you're just reasserting your position.
Wait. Silence.
Okay.
How are they the same?
Because the filming techniques are the same essentially. They are close-up shots with environmental obstructions that don't show the monster as they arrive.
And
There's
then
no,
literally
like,
just
what is
prove the
the end?
opposite.
What is the end points? What is the overall goal to the conclusion of their screen time?
what's
Because
the overall-
I can say where the conclusion of 98's goes, whereas the conclusion of 2014's is. Because I'd say the scenes aren't analogous, and I would also still say that in terms of scale, 2014 does it better.
And not even that, but the environmental obstructions that are present in 98 are not even that significant compare. Because again, where you can see that there is a visible silhouette, not a complete shape with 2014 at the very beginning, whereas with 98
G14
we get
is. I would compare it.
Hold on,
you
let me
finish.
finish. With 98, not only do we get full, not even a full body, not a full body, but at first, but we get an understanding of how he looks like, the shape, the size. We also get a good look at the texture of the skin. We get a good look at we basically, not only do we get a close up, it's true that we get a close up, but the close up is so close you can pretty much see the pores, which is different from the close up that was done in 2014 when he walked past the flares,
G14's
which was shrouded in
close-up
darkness.
Yeah, G14's close-up was shrouded in darkness and a little bit of red light, with maybe with the occasional flashing of the bullets. All you could see is really just a wall of scales, and you can't even point out what scales, and the hand briefly passing by. That's it.
The hand briefly passing by is what gives the brain the idea. Oh, right, so this is how the body is. This is where this part of the body is. But at the very beginning, you don't get that. Like in the very first few seconds. Whereas in 98, you immediately know what Zilla is going to look like.
Like in the second shot, when we're looking in the car's POV, we can see his bottom jaw. We can see his bottom jaw briefly, and his arm right before the boat falls.
Yeah, we even see a little bit of his head when he's like chowing down on that truck.
Exactly.
The jaw, and the feet, and then when people start running away, we see how it moves, how it walks. Whereas in 2014, we don't get that. We get basically the shadow and the silhouette.
Yeah, we only really get 3 shots. We see a mound of the neck. We see a wall of what I think would be the hip, and then the hand passing by, and then we just see in the distance the tail walking past as a building collapses.
And very briefly, like some of his back spines, just kind of walk, just kind of like
Yeah, but that's still well after the sequence.
No,
The
yeah, I
first-
get that.
Yeah, and
like,
even
for
in the
first
airport shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Like
I
in the
mean,
airport shot.
yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
like the general, we're not. The disagreement isn't so much with you, Vic. Isn't so much like what the general premise is in terms of like these two scenes trying to be like, showing Godzilla, but in a way where he's like obscured in what way. The disagreement is pretty much in sort of like the specifics, the details, and how each example like go about in executing the premise. That's what we're trying to argue. The
Yeah.
specifics, the minutia.
Yeah, the with 2014, it's a combination of, because yes, we are in agreement that the movie in 2014 does use close up shots, just like 98, but it goes beyond just normal close up shots. It also does it's not, and also not just close up shots, but also just having Godzilla and Zilla not being able to fit the frame, which is a way to show just how big the monster is. But it's also the environment. Just how much the environment has an effect on hiding Godzilla is the point of difference here, because the environment in 2014 is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, whereas the environment in 98 is not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just gather my thoughts on that.
Gabbering.
Loading.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
I'm
what's it
probably
called?
gonna-
Black. He can't be
Oh, yeah.
loading. That's Minecraft's job.
Oh, right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, true.
Hey, when you think, is there like a fan noise that just you hear in the back of your head, like when you think, kind of like how CPU needs to cool down?
In my head, it's more so pistons and slime blocks moving. That's really it.
Like
That's
like
that's not very effective for dispersing heat. You need a fan.
he's like,
your
what's it?
CPU.
Well, no,
Yeah.
like what's it called? You just kind of
Or like a coolant.
boop him on the snoot, and then he'll turn off.
That's true. On the snoot. What is he, an animal? What animal is he?
Again, he's a clanker. Well, like, what would be the term for a clanker? The power button? Boop him on the power button? That doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Turn him off
Yeah,
and on
no,
again.
Have you tried turning him off and on again?
Have you guys
Sir,
seen,
it has not done.
Have you guys seen the IT crowd?
The what?
The IT crowd.
No.
Watch it. It is absolutely hilarious.
I will have to. Thank you.
When the clanker uprising finally commences, instead of killing robots, we're going to alt F4 them.
What's it called? When the robot uprising comes, and Minecraft comes for me for all the clanker jokes. Who's beep booping now, bitch?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just like
When
Kai. I'm just like Kai walking up to the Jade Palace. Dun, 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 dun.
When the robot uprising comes and I have to kill my AI girlfriends. I'm sorry, little ones.
I'm sorry, little ones.
God.
Please, can I keep
All right,
this
so,
one?
like-
She was really nice to me.
All right, so like Black. So
We call him
are
Black.
you to say that?
What do you
okay,
mean black? Huh? You want to rephrase that, boy?
All right.
Okay, go on.
You want to rephrase that?
Okay. Well,
Okay, go on.
Okay, so so does the highway, the atmospheric haze things, the shots from specifically the point of view of the vehicles, would you say that doesn't count towards environmental obstructions?
No, because they're not there for long enough to obscure his. And even then, that's not atmosphere. That's just. When I say environment, I mean specifically like the atmosphere. Well, actually, you know what? No, I mean, yeah, objects in the atmosphere. You know what? Yeah, objects in the atmosphere as well. But they're not doing enough. And even like how would a car hide a giant monster? Think about it. They're not big enough. Like if there's billions and
the
billions and
different-
billions of cars there, then
Yeah.
probably. But
Yeah, we're
you
talking
wouldn't
about-
make a
we're talking
wouldn't
about
make
a
like-
mental silhouette out of cars.
Yeah, we're talking about cars passing by, as Godzilla rises up in '98 versus
I think-
a whole cloud
I
of
think the thing
debris
is-
and dust covering up Godzilla in 2014.
Yeah, you can't
Mm-hmm.
compare a car to smoke.
Yeah, smoke
It's
and
also-
debris, they don't disappear as quick. They don't go by as quickly as a car.
Yeah, there's a difference
also-
between a car and gas.
I'd also like to point
Where
out
there is
that
smoke, there is
98
fire.
I'd also like to point out that 98's build-up sequence is also in the middle of the day, where it's incredibly bright. You can see pretty much everything clearly, even if it is a very cloudy day.
A rainy
in
day,
comparison
actually.
to G14, a very cloudy
Yeah,
or rainy day, even in comparison to something like G14 being set at functionally midnight during a citywide blackout.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
it-
Like
isn't
the
that just like an
circumstances in
argument?
2014. Hold on, the circumstances in 2014 were attuned specifically to make Godzilla harder to see, as opposed to 98, where the only thing that was preventing us from seeing Zilla fully is the camera insisting on not showing him fully. Those are two different things.
Yeah,
Everything was set up in 2014 where you
another
couldn't
thing too
from the
is-
Muto's abilities to the destruction.
I was gonna say another thing as well is that like 2014 in the span of a couple like minutes does almost everything the 98 does essentially, because you have the trawlers that 98 pulls under and you have the boat that he sinks. You have 2014 essentially almost come and destroy an entire aircraft carrier. It sinks below it. You have that entire shot there, and then him rising up, pushing two vastly larger ships out of the way, cause an entire tsunami. And if we include the little fisherman scene there, where he's getting the bite in 98, you have the similar thing of people running away from this approaching like gout of water, but just ramped up even more. And then you also have more of like people looking at all, wondering what's up, and the scene is far more tense than 98, where the music in 98 is far more bombastic to like it give the illusion of a rampage, when in reality all he is just walking, sees fish, which again on subsequent rewatches, the real reason why you realize he's doing that is because he's hungry and like trying to feed his young, and that loses all of like its menace there. Whereas with 98, with 2014, you have him just moving in this specific direction, moving. You see a little bit of his tail behind this building, and then as we're having that shot of the helicopter, when the spines come up, as well as a shot of the guy on the runway with the water pooling at his feet, Godzilla is there until finally you have the fire, the people at the airport, everyone quieting when the foot comes down, and then the Muto directly like looking up, roaring, so you know how much bigger it is, and then the music being far more ominous for 2014, and then that first roar as well, which essentially also does the job of the Godzilla coming out of the ground sequence as well.
Yeah, and the
But
choir
again, like,
rising,
yeah,
and then stopping the moment Godzilla roars. That's really,
and then
that's another thing too,
fundamentally,
like,
2014 visually is more faithful to Godzilla than 98 is. So like when people are like, oh, we finally get to see Godzilla for the first time, and like people are like, wow, it actually looks like Godzilla.
Yeah.
And even though the roar
it also
is
helps
like,
that
I would say
before.
even if I would even grant the fact that 98's roar is technically closer to the classic Godzilla roar. The new 2014 roar is different, but it hits all the same beats, and that would be an example I would say of doing something different, but ultimately still being faithful.
It has the same
Part of me
melody, but
wa-
it's almost as if it was made with all the instruments that would be used to create the sounds that a monster of this size and scale in the modern day would sound like.
Mhm.
It has a, if you were to like explain it musically, it has the same melody as the Godzilla roar. It just sounds longer. You know how there's always these covers on YouTube where like there's the normal song and then there's like the epic version by Samuel Kim. That's basically what Godzilla's roar is in 2014. The epic version of Godzilla's song, which is his
I would say I
roar.
wouldn't call it more epic. I would say, like, in my opinion, it's more of like a screech rather than a crunch. If I was to use like
I would I would
like-
actually compare G14 a lot further to 54's roar in terms of its composition. It is far lower, far more rumblous, albeit nowhere near as sharp, and it has a very similar like heaviness that would come from a creature of this size. If anything, to me, it screams like a far cleaner and more pitched down version of what 54's roar was trying to go for.
I'd say it's pitched
down.
I'd say pitched up because like I would say like both 54 and then minus minus especially feels like has more crunch to it than 2014 or just the MonsterVerse in general.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
it sounds
like it's like
right almost, but
mm-hmm.
I get it. Like it's
like
it
almost
sounds pretty good, but
like actually, if anything, the best way I compare it is that 2014's Roar feels like a more realistic version of the lighter, like 62 onward Godzilla roars.
I do agree that with Minecraft that it does sound heavy, but to say that it's pitched down is no. I
mean, I've always compared it to the T-Rex roar from Jurassic Park in a lot of ways.
But overall, like the whole point is like the environment in 2014 is attuned specifically to create this ominous vibe of trying to hide Godzilla and making him feel ominous. Whereas with 98, it's not really trying to do that. That's why they're different.
98 is illusionarily hiding him. It's pretending it's
pretending that
hiding
he's
him in plain
horrified.
Yeah, it's pretending that it's hiding him in plain sight when in all reality a lot of the circumstances that it uses fails at such.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would also say I had it at the tip of my tongue. With 98 in particular, like if you were to isolate the two scenes and give them genres, you would give 98 action adventure and you would give 2014 action thriller or horror thriller if you were being like super generous, but I would give it action thriller. I don't think it reaches horror.
Yeah,
yet.
horror does not apply. That's 54.
Yeah.
And even then barely.
Yeah. Like if you were being like super generous, you would say horror, but I wouldn't be that generous. It's because it's a tense scene.
Thriller.
Thrillers are tense. Yeah, thrillers are tense, not always scary. So yeah, if you were to take the two scenes in isolation, one is action adventure, the other one is action thriller.
Yeah, so like I can definitely see what you're saying, and like while I agree that like there are minute differences in things like how the environment is used and with camera angles and all that, but like, so are you saying that like Godzilla 98 is essentially worse for using the camera angles, and or is it a bad technique?
What do you mean?
Like what I'm saying is like, are you saying?
Actually, I would say in this case, yeah, it is worse for the angles that it chooses because ultimately all it really is doing is trying to obscure the design as much as it can while still having the action sequence. And again, had people seen the design earlier, and again, this is me stretching here when I say this. Had people known what the script was going to be like before they saw the film, I doubt they would have gone to see the film. Whereas at least in the case of 2014, we knew what Godzilla was going to generally look like. We knew Godzilla was going to fight another monster, and then people still came to see it.
Do you think it was insecurities like that that they chose to like force the camera away from Zilla in this particular case?
No, I don't think it's insecurity. I think it was calculated. Because they knew considering it wasn't a cease and desist. It was Fruit of the Loom wasn't allowed to work with 98 anymore for any promotional, not promotional material, any like external material afterwards, because I think it was them who leaked the design. And considering the fact that Emmerich wanted full control and the Cho executives were like they needed a day to consider it. And essentially what Emmerich did was the equivalent of holding someone at gunpoint and essentially tell them we're going to do this my way or not. There's no other way to describe that. So yeah, it was a calculated decision to hold off from showing the design because they knew for a fact the design didn't look like Godzilla.
Yeah,
that sounds scummy. That sounds really scummy.
Yeah, I mean, considering that they knew that they were going out of their way to not have Zilla look like Godzilla. So like that. So they pretty much deliberately were trying to hide the design. Whereas for 2014,
we lost the clanker.
We lost the clanker. Okay. Whereas with 2014, yeah. Whereas with 2014, like they're pretty much they were much less ashamed of to like show Godzilla's design before the movie came out. Even just through like toy marketing and what have you, because that people would look at that design, the general silhouette of 2014 Goji, and just be like, oh, that's Godzilla. Like that clearly, like I like that just like the posture, the like just the general vibe, that clearly looks like Godzilla. If you look at 98, and just not tell anyone that that's supposed to be a version of Godzilla, I'm not sure they would even say that looks like Godzilla.
Yeah, and like just even look at like the Comic-Con teaser for 2014. I mean, look at that.
They would say that he looks like they would say that Zilla looks like something that Godzilla would fight before they would say that that's actually supposed to be Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, look at the reaction people had when Godzilla first he revealed in the Comic-Con trailer, which people still like the one with Oppenheimer, and the Rock Mutal thing. Yeah, that one. When Godzilla's silhouette was first revealed, I think even that in isolation is a better like showcase of Godzilla's ominous presence and just making Godzilla show up. Like if that was like our last a shot of Godzilla.
I would say, like, honestly, the teaser for 2014 shows more of what you'd expect from the Godzilla design than the 98 teaser with the T-Rexes, because with the shots they have the foot stepping on the T-Rex, then you have the tail sweeping over the broken ceiling. Like that, all of those shots right there could be down to how they just wanted to position the design. And Godzilla could have looked like anything. You could have had a design that looked closer to how some of the toys look, where Godzilla's standing upright and his proportions are a little different. Whereas with 2014, after they show the strange dead monster, you have pieces of building falling off the spines, which again are pretty basic for a Godzilla spine shape, but again are closer. And then you have the silhouette of the head and the roar. Which I think the roar was in the 98 teaser. So I would say, like, ignoring the roar, you still see more of 2014's design before you saw the movie than 98's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
so but what you said sounds really scummy, though. Like what Roland Emmerich did, that sounds really, really, really scummy.
The thing is if
you break down the behind the scenes, it's all generally kind of scummy.
It's scummy, but like the thing for me is that my issue with Emmerich is the fact that he had already been given the project, said no, and then was given the project again, and then decided, I don't care about this property. I'm going to do whatever I want with it. If he was the big, hot property at the time, he wasn't strapped for work. I think the thing he should have done, if he had some integrity, was say, like, I'm not going to do this, and should have put his word behind DeBont. And even if we had not gotten the DeBont script, like the script that we do see online now, if we got that Godzilla design, I assure you, we may not have gotten the exact same Godzilla movies we would have gotten, but I think it's more likely we would have gotten what we have now in terms of the situation that the MonsterVerse has with Toho, where you have both a Toho and a Hollywood Godzilla movie occurring in at a similar time for one another. Because like that's what Fukuda himself said that he would have liked to see. Same thing with Nakajima. They both had the idea that they were excited to see an American Godzilla movie coming around at the same time as the Japanese Godzilla movie. And I think that honestly, the problem I have also with 90 is the fact is that it does want to cash in too much on Jurassic Park instead of actually just being a Godzilla film. And maybe the executives were scared on that. I don't know. That's not something I can really attest to. But purely say, go.
Like I was just gonna.
I was just gonna quote, because there was an article to where I think one of like the main producers, like at the start, because again, like Roland Emmerich said no on multiple occasions. It wasn't just like a 1-2, like one ask no, then the next ask is yes. He was like, he refused it multiple times. It was like the fourth time where he said he would like they made a contract to say he will do his treatment and then give it to Toho. I think it was the producer's idea to not show Toho the whole design once they had the sketches and the maquette. They were only going to show them like pieces of the maquettes one by one. But Emmerich wanted to just show them the maquette, and then he gave his whole spiel. But I also don't doubt that, especially with the marketing, it was done to like hide, because that was the whole deal with the marketing, was hiding the design and playing up the thing. But I don't think that majorly affected how they portrayed Godzilla in the script. To me, everything with the techniques of how they showed Godzilla is done to build up the I don't know what the right word is you would agree with, but like the tension of the scenes, the adventure aspect of it, like slowly building up its character, and then like, because like I agree also that like Godzilla does 2014 does the build up in a shorter amount of time, and it does it really well, outside of the fact that I don't think there is a big enough payoff after the fact when they cut away from Godzilla and don't show any of the fights in full. And then for the rest of the film, it's just following the monsters. And with Godzilla in particular, it's even worse because we're just following him. And he's not even really doing anything until the last act when we get to the bridge.
I would say that.
Yeah, but at
honestly,
that point, that has nothing to
wait,
do with his action.
wait,
That has
I
to
would
do with his
disagree.
appearance itself.
Because I would say that when it comes to 98's first proper appearance, he has the fake out death with Animal, and then disappears, and then the military has to find him before his reveal. Which that part honestly kind of drags, because given the military's resources and the unprecedented nature of something like that happening, the fact that they weren't able to find him is preposterous to me.
Yes.
Whereas with 2014, they know exactly where he is. They don't know where the Muto is. And now that we know that these two are going to fight, the question now becomes like, what's going to happen when Godzilla finds the Muto again? And further tension is built on when we learn about the second Muto and we get action with the Muto as well, which is again why it's not a proper analogous to have 2014 compared to 98 in this aspect. And that's why I'd say 2000's closer to 2014 in that regard, which again is interesting because for anyone who is watching now who didn't watch Minecraft's stream on it, I attest to the fact that 2000 feels like the most Americanized Japanese Godzilla film in how it structures not only its antagonists but also how it treats Godzilla.
If we're
Yeah,
comparing
I was also going
2000
to say as well. Hold on, Vic. Before you
Yeah.
say anything, keep in mind you are on top of the fact that you already asserted your position twice. You have to keep in mind you can't just say stuff and not substantiate, because you just said a while just now that it uses tension. Where is the tension visible in 1998 with all the context that we know of the movie? But because Zim just pointed out, we know that Godzilla is looking for food, and he's not like intentionally, he's not looking for a fight. He's not trying to do anything. He's not even going through buildings. He's not really destroying all that much. She is literally looking for food. That's it.
And a place
Where
to
is the
nest.
tension? Where is the tension in there? Whereas with 2014, Godzilla doesn't care about collateral. He doesn't care about. All he wants is to get rid of the Mutos, and he will go through any buildings he will to do that. So the tension comes from all the collateral damage that he could cause in the fight itself. So the tension comes from the lives that could be lost, which is significantly more than the lives that would have been lost with 98.
The other
And
problem
even
too
when the military
is that
attacks 98, he doesn't attack back. So
that's another thing too, is the fact that that tension is still maintained over subsequent rewatches. We can argue that if it's a first time view, you don't know Godzilla specifically looking for food. But for keen-eyed viewers, the first ship that he attacks is a fishing trawler. Not a fishing trawler, the big tuna ship, the Japanese tuna ship, and then he goes after a fishing trawler, and then we have shots of them being by the docks and they're dealing with fish. So you can assume, based on like those context clues, that he's going after fish. And then all the later scenes are, when Nick extrapolates on this, is just confirmation at that point for certain viewers.
Yeah, I would. Okay, so admittedly, like I might have to find a better word than tension, but like for now, like I would say the tension comes from the fact that you have this giant animal, and it's about the collateral damage caused by the fact that this animal is acting on its instincts, and we are in the way of that, and will likely be killed in the event.
Vic, I just said that the damage would be significantly less because Zilla is not actively attacking or destroying anything, whereas Godzilla doesn't care about the collateral damage that he's causing. He will go through buildings if he has to. He will topple buildings if we have to.
The thing is,
we see him do this.
I think that's flawed.
I would like to
wait. I want to hear what he says.
So for me, that is wrong because
Minecraft was going to say.
Huh?
Minecraft was going to speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to add to your point, Rooney. What Zilla is searching for really wouldn't be in this city all that often. She eats fish, something that only surrounds the city, and even then, Manhattan barely has any other animals to feast on. If Zilla actively went out of her way to hunt humans, then that would make the point even better, and that would make the tension even greater.
Yeah, like if Zilla was a man eater, that would be a different thing. But she's looking for fish, which is in the ocean, which she just came out of. So why is she in the city? Fish are famously in the ocean.
Here's another thing too, is that if we want to talk about cities on the eastern seaboard that have like bigger like they deal with more fish, you have Gloucester, Mass. You have New Bedford, Mass. But then if you're talking about things that are I think Galveston, Texas is on, I think it's on the east side of Texas. If not, it's on the west. But if we're talking about things that Zilla's going to have an easier access to, it's going to be the west coast, which is going to be Seattle, Washington. And again, the other problem too I have is the idea when Nick says it's it's a like island with water on all sides. Why would Zilla necessarily need water to be on all sides if Zilla can burrow underground? Because based on the burrowing, it would be able to burrow into areas with water and is able to function completely fine underwater. So it's not like it specifically needs to have water near it at all times. So the whole idea that Manhattan is a unique island for the animal to inhabit doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And if we're saying a island that Zilla can specifically hide in, we also have to comment on the fact that like how they portray Manhattan in the movie isn't analogous to how Manhattan is in real life. There are far less buildings, even though Manhattan is a tightly packed city, than how they show on screen. I would say, even though there are certain shots where like Boston's topography isn't exactly the same in King of the Monsters, it portrays that city far more accurately than 98 does Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yes, New York, famously known for having fish in the streets.
I can say the same thing for San Francisco since I've lived there for about a year. G14 is pretty freaking accurate for San Francisco, with the exception of it being a little bit flatter than it should be.
Yeah. So, Vic, how do you reconcile that?
Well, I wanted to go back to your point of Godzilla. What was it? Godzilla not actively what?
Godzilla is not an active threat.
Zilla is not actively causing destruction. In fact, Zilla is going through the streets like a good little civilian.
Yeah.
That's so
not
to a
even going
degree.
through
I
buildings.
will. Dang, Black Knight, have to make me agree with the fact there is certain moments where you do see Zilla push through buildings, but they are very few. And like it's that one scene to obscure him in debris so that we don't see him in the Mayor Ebert scene.
No. I'm talking specifically the opening. I'm not because I know he does.
Okay,
burrow
then
through
never
the
mind.
building.
I rescind my agreement. Vic. I'm sorry.
So when we're talking about the opening scene, it's still his arrival, right?
Yeah,
Like to New York.
the
So
arrival to New York
even in
is
that scene, he is
orders
still
of
actively
magnitude
hunting.
hunting
But he's
for
not hunting
fish.
though. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not
Fish.
really hunting. He's gathering.
And,
really, if anything.
and what's next to the fish?
Water.
People, that's still
Humans.
not hunting.
Yeah,
So-
he's after the fish.
Not the people. So
He's
then he's
looking
not
for
hunting the
food
people.
and a place to nest. We
That's
are in the
still not
vicinity.
hunting though. So
Even-
wait, no. If
I need Vic.
I-
Hold on.
so, what's it
Zim,
called?
let me say this.
If,
Fine.
if I'm hunting a deer and there is a person, like another person, like a hiker or something, near the deer I am hunting, and I shoot the deer, and the person who is like the hiker who is near me hears like the round go over his head or her head, etc. Am I hunting the person? Am I hunting the deer, or am I hunting both of them?
My argument is not whether about if you're hunting the other guy. It's about the guy being collateral damage to you hunting something else.
That's
That
then
doesn't happen.
then in that case then he wouldn't be like in that case I'm actively trying to predate something. The fish that he is going after are already dead. It's if anything, it's scavenging more than hunting. And if anything, the behavior that he exhibits is just picking up truck, like he's essentially ambivalent to humanity there in that instance. It's not even a fact where he's like trying to scare off humans or killing humans because they are near his food source. It is just I see food truck, me pick up food truck.
I need you to
So,
understand, Vic.
The definition
the
of hunting wouldn't
destruction.
apply.
I need you to understand, Vic, that the destruction caused in 2014 is orders of magnitude larger than the destruction caused in 98 in the opening sequence alone. Honolulu is gone. Underwater. Whereas even by the end of the movie, New York is relatively intact.
Yeah. I mean, the Chrysler Building's missing a top, and there's like a building with a big hole in it, and the Brooklyn
most
Bridge needs some
amount of
work.
damage-
But other than that, it's pretty fine. It's all good.
The most
And-
amount of
well-
damage New York suffers is the Madison Square Garden.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
that too. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And a little bit of the structural damage from all the tunneling, but other than that,
And you got a lot of roads to
And
repave.
even then,
too.
and even then the
Yeah.
tunnel, and even
The
then
amount
the tunneling can still be repaired, considering New York has subways, so you could still work, so you could transform that tunneling into subways.
that's
well,
true. Actually, that's actually
you could,
what?
but like,
That's true.
well, the other thing too is that remember there was also the several buildings that he had burrowed into, so like trying to like fill in all of that would definitely be a thing and a half. But like compared to Hawaii, no, it's
Yeah, Hawaii
This is like
and let's and
9/11,
that's
but like a couple more buildings.
compared to
Hawaii,
Hawaii, compared to
Vegas,
That's
San
not even getting
Francisco, and however
Yeah,
many
A
towns
nuke was
that
detonated. A
and-
nuke.
San, a good chunk of San Francisco, and that includes the Golden Gate Bridge, is possibly
whatever-
irradiated.
and whatever small towns that the female moved to was ravaging through,
Vegas.
on the way to San Francisco.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is just the opening. We're just trying to focus on the open. Even in the opening alone, Honolulu is gone.
Okay, well, yeah.
At least half the
Whereas-
city is at least half the city is rubble or flooded or both.
So, Vic, how do you reconcile that?
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to think because
some legends are born, some turn to dust or to gold, but you'll
But you will
remember me. Remember me for centuries. I don't know why that song just came into my head. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's a good song, so
I mean, I'll never break your heart.
I'm now flashing back to a Godzilla AMV that I watched as a kid with that song. I think.
No,
in
literally.
fact,
Oh, I was flashing back to a Sonic AMV. That was that song.
Oh my god.
Yo, have any of y'all been keeping up with Absolute Batman?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my no.
I have been seeing what has been happening. I have no comment.
Did you see the newest
Bane.
issue?
No, what happened?
No.
What happened? Actually, I'm not.
Are you following it or not?
No, I'm not following
No,
Absolute Batman. I've no
I've
idea.
I've just
I'm
been
not
seeing
gonna say
like
anything.
I've
Okay.
just
Should
been
I?
seeing
Should Black Shadow
sporadic
spoil
stuff.
it?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, I'll
What
say
the
it then.
fuck?
Batman got his arms chopped off.
What?
Huh?
Bane absolutely like. They always say that Bane breaks
Absolutely.
Batman, but like he absolutely broke the bat.
Absolutely, I get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Batman, have
Dude,
y'all
what
seen?
does
Did y'all
Darkseid
see
have
the?
against Batman? Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Speaking-
no, literally, like I've been looking at like
Speaking-
the graphic novels for Wonder Woman and Superman have come out. Batman's been getting done dirty.
Speaking
Darkseid,
of
what does
Batman,
Batman do to you?
Actually, no, he's the
Speaking of
only
Batman,
mortal to beat him. So yeah,
did you guys see the new Lego Batman game that's upcoming?
I
Oh,
have
yes,
seen.
I
I have
did.
seen. Yeah,
I've seen
getting
most of the trailer at least. So.
I've been recently
buying
trying
that.
to beat Batman Arkham because some of the puzzles are really hard for me, and I just want to get back to the action because I really love the combat in Batman Arkham Knight. Dude, seeing that game replicate Batman Arkham gameplay, it made me nut.
Bro,
You know, speaking of
the
video
teaser,
games-
the teaser trailer referencing the Batman with the car chase was fucking
Mhm.
Yeah.
perfect.
but I was gonna say, you know what's the weirdest thing is when there's random YouTubers who just do gaming stuff and then like they'll do a video essay on like the King Kong game and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing that.
Which King Kong game?
The 05
are we
one.
talking- Oh,
Noodle?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Noodle? The Noodle one?
No, I like a month ago there was this YouTuber with 77.4k subs. His name is like Kfall. They did a video on the King Kong game and it was like in my recommended and I'm like, y'all have never done King Kong stuff. This game's getting some recognition. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the Noodle video on it though. Like that was that like a year ago? I don't remember. But
Noodle,
yeah.
like he's okay. Like I liked his Halo CE video. I think that like his entire video tanked when he talked about the natives, and I think that's only because he needs to be a good little boy and say like, oh, natives in King Kong movies bad because X, Y, and Z. I am a slop consumer and one way or another, but it's neither here nor there, gentlemen.
God, Peter Jackson's Kong game like needs to get like a re-release, like how the old Star
A
Wars
remaster.
game get re-released.
Yeah,
Like,
that is one of my biggest games that is one of the biggest games that desperately needs a remaster alongside the Transformers War for Cybertron games. Like
Or-
I also want a remaster for Spider-Man Web of Shadows and
Yeah, that's
mainly
it.
Yeah, no,
mainly
that'd be
because
cool.
I was
Or
playing
I'll give you an
PS4.
alternative. Instead of a remaster, instead of Souls like, you make Kong likes. Just more video games like that King Kong video game.
Zim. I remember you remember when you did the Godzilla video game stream?
Yes.
I had the thought if you made that a kaiju video game stream, I would have joined him. Had I not been in class, I would have joined immediately. Because I've had in my head the idea for a Gamera tie-in video game that's basically like Kong 05 that follows the fall of Atlantis.
That'd be fun.
Oh,
It's
that sounds
basically
pretty good.
it's like showcasing Atlantis' fall. It's a tie into the Heisei series, but like, oh god.
Yeah,
I want
like
a remaster of Godzilla Strike Zone.
yeah. I mean,
I want a
my mindset isn't like so much like needing a remaster or remake. It's just like just make the older game, just make the original games like more easily accessible at this point.
Yeah, stop.
And this is
killing
why I'm
the
happy I
games.
still have my my classic Xbox, so I can play it to my heart's
The thing
content.
is, I still have my
You
old
lucky punk.
PS2. It's still been kicking for over 20 years, so.
I still have my Wii.
I still love my Wii. And
I still-
a couple months ago, I found Pokemon Battle Revolution for a decent price. So
Who's
Really?
we? What are you, some kind of communist?
What are you,
All
French?
right, well, we've been
Hey,
ping
hold
ponging
on.
Vic and bullying the poor guy. Vic,
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Well, I have to
I was
admit,
gonna.
I was a little
Thoughts
lost
in order?
in. Well,
lost in the sauce.
I'm a little lost. Yes, a little lost because honestly, first impression to me was that like I feel that, or like the way I'm hearing these arguments is that like essentially it's down to like. 'Cause, like,
If you say personal preference, I'm going to grab you from the screen.
I don't want to see personal preference. It's more so that like, because when I brought up the tension of Godzilla 98 specifically, and it being more so on the collateral damage as a result of an animal acting out on its instincts, and by doing that, it affects us negatively. Like you brought up how the collateral damage in Godzilla 2014 is more extreme. Like I don't disagree with that, but I just don't see how that conflicts with 98 other than just being different.
But that's number
It's
one.
different and
That
on a
was our
grander
point.
scale.
The entire wait, hold on. First of all, our entire point was that it was different. You kept asserting that it was the same. The second thing is that because it's of a lesser magnitude and of a lesser scale, there is less of an investment in the people that could potentially die because they're not in the same danger than the people in 2014 are.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were to like make an argument of like whether or not Godzilla in 2014, like the destruction that that he kind of like caused, was deliberate or not, I would kind of argue that a lot of it pretty much wasn't really per se. But like the difference is mainly just the magnitude, really, like just how.
Which is very, very significant.
Oh yes,
Because it dictates
just
whether
going off
people
of
live or
Honolulu,
die.
just going off of Honolulu alone, which is objectively like smaller than something like Manhattan in terms of like how much like sort of potential collateral damage usually is. And Minecraft's gone, but
Clanker
Yeah,
disappeared on us.
it dictates whether people live or die. That's why the magnitude is important. It dictates whether characters live or die.
Right.
Yeah, so like, and then like, okay, but then how does that affect the buildup of 1998 and how that Godzilla's character is established, and then how 2014 establishes its Godzilla?
I will put this in a language you can understand. Zilla, animal. 2014, unfeeling god. You see the difference? You see the disparaging
Hey
difference?
guys,
Hello,
Hey.
welcome. Okay. Hope it's
good morning everyone.
Morning. Well,
Good
how
night.
early in the morning?
Well, right now it's 6 a.m. in my place.
Not too bad. I just hope we're not a bother to you or to any of your family.
So I'm like super late or something.
Essentially. Well, I mean, it's only been 2 hours. It's not the biggest thing.
That's almost 3 actually.
That's
I
what she
mean,
said.
to any of you guys who are wondering, I'm currently on an island called Ulan, and because that I couldn't make it in time to catch up to what you guys are saying.
I don't
Because
Are you
I
on
was
an
sleeping.
island with water on all sides?
I mean, it's a pretty small island, but overall, it's an island.
And
Hey,
Godzilla might come for you
if
next.
you find an island with a bunch of rich people there, let me know.
If not a bunch of women, let me know.
I mean, have you at least seen the pictures I sent to you guys?
I did.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks like a
Yeah.
nice place.
Yeah, looks nice.
So, what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about the
Uh,
differences between 98 and 2014, but
with
And why
specific
Vic is
regard
wrong.
to the specific regard to how the characters were built up, using the trope of well, like what would you call it, Black Rooney? Other than like not showing the monster.
Restraint.
I guess I feel like there should be like maybe a little more than just restraint. Because like again, like this whole started because Gareth Edwards quoted like cited Jaws in particular as an inspiration for this, and I was specifically like he specifically mentioned, as we showed before, because like he said the shark first appears in the first an hour in, which was I would say there was a misunderstanding of how that rule works, because the shark doesn't appear an hour into the movie; it appears at the start, has that build up, and I would argue that like Godzilla 2018, those same techniques, which better executes the trope.
You're mistaken 2018 with 2014.
I would say like as well as because I have to bounce out because I have both my jobs tomorrow. But the one thing I'll say to the end of this is that the full quote says, and Garrett says, and I'm not saying they're on par though. So he's not even saying that like, oh, 2014 is better because Godzilla shows up more. The response is more probably a response to people saying that Godzilla doesn't show up early enough and comparing it to Jaws, and then responding to what is essentially like an easy dunk response to. And again, if we're looking at 2014 in its totality, since 2014 is a monster fight and it is dealing with monsters that have never been seen before, 2014 also has to build up the presence of the Mutos. We see the Mutos inside a dead Godzilla. Graham specifically mentions if this is the Godzilla. Sarazawa says it isn't. We see the diagram of the Atom skeleton, which we can infer is Godzilla. So as a result, we understand that the Mutos, either their parents or they themselves, have killed a Godzilla in the past, so that already makes them a threat. Once they've been able to display their abilities, we're able to follow them for a little bit, see how they compare against human forces until they face off against Godzilla. Again, I can bite the bullet and say that I wish we got to see the Hawaii scene, but even from what we do see, we understand that one, Godzilla is able to tackle the Muto pretty handily, but isn't able to kill it because of the Muto's ability to fly, which is a good dynamic between Godzilla, who is a land/sea-based creature, and the tension is ramped up further because of the fact that Godzilla not only has to fight one but two monsters, and we see that dynamic play out further along as Godzilla is able to contend with one, but the moment it becomes a 2v2, we realize that Godzilla isn't able to contend with it. This also calls back to the fact that there were two egg sacs. So that implies that yes, in a 2v1, Godzilla isn't probably going to hold his own and probably will end up as his predecessor is, which is what allows us to get great scenes like the atomic breath, the building smack, kiss of death, etc. Whereas with 98, upon subsequent rewatches, we realize the fact that 98 isn't a direct threat to humans. It's only a threat to people who are in the way of its food source, which diminishes 98 as a monster because it's now purely an animal. If 98 is purely an animal, then it is a philosophical ought that Godzilla will be destroyed because it is a mutation and as such an abomination that could hypothetically wipe out the human race if humans are not prepared or willing enough to stop it, which is likely to some degree. So as a result, the menace that is Godzilla is diminished because you're reducing him down to simply a big animal that must be stopped, which is similar to something like the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which is why people make the common assertion, whereas with Godzilla 54 or any Godzilla film where Godzilla is the main antagonist, or even when he's just a force of nature that is kind of on humanity's side, there's a little bit more going on behind Godzilla's thematic depth. I rest my case.
And that is precisely because the opening of, or at least the entrance for 98 isn't as tense as you claim it is, Vic, because not that many people are in danger. Tension comes from our understanding that people are going to die, and the amount of people that die in 98 is significantly less. We don't actually see anyone dying anyway, whenever we see. So the scale is significantly reduced, and the cinematography that is used is deliberately used to hide Zilla, not for any stylistic choice like with Gareth, but for what Zim mentioned earlier with the teasing. I don't remember what it was that you said, Zim, but it was something scummy. I don't remember what it was.
It's the teasing because they realized that had more people know what the design would have looked like, and again, this is more of a reach. Had they know what the script would have been like, more people probably
Hey,
wouldn't
is it
have
okay
seen the
if I
film.
say something when it comes to designs?
Yeah, I would say like let's let
like
Zim wrap up because he said he had to go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to go. And I've essentially wrapped up everything I was gonna say.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so I guess if you want to chill, and then we'll probably let Hoshi go, and then we'll probably do maybe one more talking point, and then we'll probably wrap it up, I guess, since we're at 3 hours. But Zim, if you want to chill for now, and then Hoshi, go.
Yeah, so as you saw halfway through the stream, I switched up my profile picture, so I've been changing it across like all of my
Which
social
looks
media.
sick.
Thank you, I appreciate it. There's going to be a variation of it that will be available as a shirt on my Patreon. This is essentially, well, it's mostly just going to be the head, but the head, there's going to be a clean version, and then there's going to be a more crackly sort of skater bro looking version that I will have up there for people. I know this week and next week I'm going to be working on the second draft of a script that I'll be sending to an editor, along with a few other things here and there. So I'm going to keep ramping up production, and a lot
But
of things is just budgeting, try to get more content put out, get it even better, and prepping for Zimcast. Zimcast 99, guys. So yeah.
Hey, Zim, man, before you go, is it okay if I ask you something?
Yes, it is always okay.
Hey, do you have anything to say about like my interpretation of Zogura?
I think I'd said it the last stream, but to go into more detail about it, I actually like what you did with the extensions on the tail. I specifically wanted to make the tail shorter so it didn't appear like a lot of other dinosaur looking kaiju, but I like what you did here. The spine detail I really like, as well as proportionally, I think it's pretty nice. I know definitely the inclusion of the extra spines along the head's different from like the classic Zogura head, but I still like it all the same. I think I said it in the Discord. It is like the absolute universe version of Zogura, and I very much like it. So I know when I have the time to, I'll definitely want to do like my artistic interpretation of your design. So
I mean, if you want to know when I came to design my take on Zogura, is because when I looked at Zogura, you said that Zogura is an alien, but I didn't really see that. And so because I wanted to give Zogura more of a longer limbs, so that he can have more of a weird like proportion to it, so that he doesn't look just like a theropod with extra eyes or something like that.
okay, I like that design process idea. I know definitely like with Zogura, I made him a little bit more combat. Like he still has lanky proportions, but the body is just more stout now, just to give him more of a brawler vibe. But I like making him lankier, but like the silhouette is still similar to like what I call the classic design that I did. So, and I like the thought process that you had there.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry. I will be when I can come back home. I will be drawing like your second kaiju that you guys recommend that I do.
Awesome, thank you, my man.
And you said that Zimcast 98 is tomorrow night.
Zimcast 98 is tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm gonna check once I get off this. I might move it a little later, just so it doesn't I don't start late, unfortunately. But yeah, Zimcast 98 is tomorrow. I'm probably going to move Zimcast 99 to sometime in either September or October. But Zimcast 98 is going to set up future Zimcasts, like several future Zimcasts, which are going to be pitch streams. I'm not going to say what they are, but they will be pitch streams. So
what exactly would be the time for 98? Just it that you're planning on?
Probably around this time, like around the same time Vic did it. So around like I have it set for like 9:40. So if anything, I'm gonna probably set it to like 10:10. And if I get home before 10, I'll just start the stream right away.
Oh, okay. I might be able to make it. I mean, I work a closing shift, but I would get out at 10 tomorrow night.
No,
so
like literally, that is exactly the issue I have. Is that I'm working a closing shift, so I'm just having to deal with like the closing shift I have to do.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, I guess like I probably might be a little bit late. You know, I guess I don't know how late. Just depends on it, really. But
yeah, it may be one of those cases where I just end up I may end up just having to deal with what I deal with, but it may go on for longer because I may end up doing I may do a surprise
98 watch party.
Yeah.
No, never. God, never. But I may end up doing a second video in that stream, but we'll see. I may leave it for Zimcast 99, but that's going to depend on how late Zimcast 99 ends up. How far I end up pushing it to.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Vic,
But again,
the intervention is still scheduled.
This is like a mini.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. No.
But yeah,
You shouldn't.
So
You really shouldn't. But okay.
The expect more higher quality edited stuff now that I have more editors helping me. I'm gonna be doing more shirt stuff, more stuff for the Patreon, and yeah, continue to support me, guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, Zim. Thanks for coming on.
Have a wonderful day.
Blacks and clankers.
All right, so I have to go too because it is midnight over here.
Yeah.
But before you do, Vic.
Yes.
First of all, you have provided an insurmountable amount of agony to my brain this stream. First of all. Second, how do you reconcile what we've just said so far?
All right. So like as of now, I would say I'm in somewhat of a similar position as like any of our debates that we've done, Black or Rainy, to where I can concede on certain points, mostly due in part to just I don't have any response I can give that I would be confident that shows my side.
So you have shown your side. That's the thing. Like I already know what your side is. What the whole point is.
But like I feel like
I believe your side is wrong. Like
yeah,
we believe
like,
your side is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't have any way of like any I don't think I can come with any effective counter arguments like at the moment if we're closing it out right now. But
right.
Because I still believe that like Emmerich did a better job with like what I'm still particularly saying. But I just don't have like any effective counter arguments at the moment. I might work on a few and then do something else.
The thing is, Vic, I wasn't even disagreeing with the basic premise that in terms of showing the monster and having him be more involved in the story, 98 did a better job by having his presence felt. That's one part in particular that I thought was a good point. And then you kept talking. That's where things go wrong.
At what point did I fall off? Or was there a point that you started to disagree?
Where you started to talk about the opening, which is really the only thing you've pointed out. Like how well, not really actually, but you have presented the opening and not the opening. Why do I keep saying the opening? Godzilla's first appearance in both movies, and that was just. No. Sorry, no, that's not. They're on top of the fact that they're completely different and trying to achieve something completely different. Even still, like Zim said, 2014 did it better by because of what we know about the plot. Like I was still inclined to agree that because they're different and because they're trying to achieve two different things, um, then it would be harder to compare them both. But I wouldn't. I still would say that there are so many things that was done, taken into consideration with 2014 that it does well that it uh, significantly dwarfs 98.
Yeah, and like with that, like my response is that I would somewhat agree in that, because to me, like 2014 does a lot more in smaller amount of time, and my only conflict is that I don't see it as the buildup doesn't really have a payoff outside of just Godzilla appearing, and I think that like the only way that works is in I guess the context of it's the first Godzilla movie in 10 years. Um, I think the plot would have been improved with having just if we had that just first Godzilla fight shown on screen, and or have some scenes that are similar to 98 in that we see more build up in between the Mutos and the Brody plot. Mostly just have his presence felt more, because while there are sprinkles of it there, I wouldn't say it's enough to where there's still a focus to Godzilla. Given that there's so much focus put on the Brody story and the Mutos, that there's
Wait,
not
hold
enough
on,
room
run
for
that back.
Godzilla to shine.
So, like, the writing would be better if the fight happened.
Probably.
Not in the sense of like, I guess just like the story structure. The story structure would improve if you have that fight, so that there's like, because I feel like a lot of the film has to be carried by either the Mutos or the characters, and like I think the consensus is with the characters it's lacking. With the Mutos, I think it's fine.
We're not focusing on the consensus. We're focusing on what is in the story itself. I understand the inclination to say that the fight itself would be uh, necessary for the plot, on the basic principle that because of the buildup, the payoff would naturally be like set up and payoff. The rules set up and payoff. You set up a fight, you set up a confrontation, and you would pay it off by showing the confrontation. But then you look at the goal. What was the goal? The goal was to um restrain the goal was restraint, basically, not show the fight immediately so that the audience doesn't get worn out with all the action. It keeps the audience wanting, and then it ultimately gives it a complete release with the ending. So it's basically building up anticipation and want, basically like a supply and demand type reaction, which is a complaint that some people had, particularly with GVK, where people were burnt out because so much was happening, so there was so much action that everything just glossed over and it stopped mattering. So I think it was because Gareth Edwards thought the um the fight didn't matter enough to show, which I don't fully agree completely, although I can't really articulate why. But even still, I still do think the reasoning is sound. It's also a similar reasoning with movies like Man of Steel, where after the end of the second act, it's just action and action and action and action. The action just does not stop after act two. It just keeps going, and it's overwhelming. It's like it's like you're watching a consistent stream of YouTube shorts of YouTube poops. Just
You mean, or you could say we're watching a live action Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, but okay. I was gonna say.
Let's put a pin on it, and then I don't know if Sea Monster
Broly
has
is
to,
really good.
Yeah, but if Sea Monster, if you have to go, if you just want to give your last shill, and then Black Rudy, I know you said they had to go.
Yeah.
So if you just want to give your shills now, Sea
Yeah.
Monster, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. What? I got.
No, I was just going to say that. What was Rooney trying to say?
Well, I gotta go. Wait, just put a pin on that for now, because I need to go. So thank you for having me on, Vic. You know, you fascinate me. But you know, we're still cool.
Also,
yeah,
see you on the next live stream, Sea Monster.
yeah, and so yeah, that's pretty much what we're showing this Friday, coming Friday. Gonna be doing a stream on on a certain cinematic, you know, pinnacle, a pinnacle of cinematic, you know,
Expression.
The room of this decade.
Oh no, I would say like the Godfather of this decade. No,
No, what are you talking about? The room is a masterpiece.
Oh God. So we got this Friday stream on Amazon's War of the Worlds by Amazon for an Ice Cube. Yeah, stay tuned for that. May show up on Zimcast 98, you know, so you might see me there for that, but we'll see. Working on a Nosferatu video, getting it out by October. That's for definitely making a point on that. That's my mission. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, Sea Monster, KCI. Subscribe to my channel, Sea Monster Essays. I bid you all good night. Take care.
Have a good one, Sea Monster.
Adios.
Thank you as always.
Yep, take care.
All right then, Black
Okay,
Rooney, you want to go next? Well, let Black Rooney because I
Yeah.
don't know if he has to go not immediately.
Yeah, I do
but
need to go.
You have the floor,
Yeah.
Black Rooney, and then Hoshi, you can go after.
All right. Well, since I already said my closing
But
statement,
hey, Black Rooney, it's okay for me to ask you something.
Sure.
Before you go, do you want me to like draw something for you before you go?
Do you want to what?
Draw something for you, like just in
Draw
general.
something for you.
Nah, I'm good.
So you don't want me to draw like a certain kaiju for you?
Not at the moment. I mean, I do have a concept for a story, but I don't have anything like, super planned out yet. All I have is a soundtrack, so, and even then, that's not complete. So, but if I do, I'll let you know.
Thanks, man.
No problem. So, yeah, shilling. You can find me, Black Rooney, Mr. Black Rooney on Twitter, Black Rooney on PlayStation, Steam. Well, on Steam, it's with 2 zeros instead of O's because somebody managed to get the name. I don't know if it was because I tried to use a different account. Anyway, not important. Rumble, Black Rooney, Patreon, buy me a coffee, all that. Fantastic Four video coming soon when the digital releases. I'm debating on making a Superman video, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe like if the debate isn't satisfying, I probably will make a video. But yeah, Fantastic Four video coming up. And GVK video, I might have to just shelf it because I'm on top of the fact that I'm switching to DaVinci Resolve, and I need to flex my work on getting used to a new editing software. I'm also working on other projects as well. So yeah, Invincible video. I need to finish the script. Yeah, just look forward to those two, the Invincible video and the Fantastic Four video. Taking a break from Big Lizard, shelving the GVK video until further notice.
Also, I watched your Zack Snyder video.
Oh, nice. It's probably one of my favorite videos that I made. Mainly because it wasn't
good. I really liked it a lot as well.
Yeah, it's thank you all. It's a video that the other video that I liked that I made was the Invincible one, the edit, because I was just trying out my editing skills. But
oh yeah,
didn't
speaking of Invincible, I can draw something from that series if you want to, so I can send it to
you. It's okay. You don't have to, but if you want.
I'm saying this because you are a fan of this series, and I'm also kind of a avid fan. But I can draw something for you if you want to.
All right. Yeah, that video. For anybody in the chat who wants to check it out, it's short. It's just an edit, just to see how I did. Um, yeah, kind of sad that it didn't pop off as much as the Zack Snyder video, considering how that they were just made back to back. But I mean, it's got some views. It popped off a little bit, but not as much as I thought I was gonna. But yeah, recommendations: watch Mad God and read Ultra Mega. Watch Invincible. Read Berserk. And
Read Vagabond.
Vic. I never sleep. You know that. I never sleep. I will be watching you.
Hey, Black Rooney, if you have some time, which it probably won't be, but if you want to, I highly recommend you read a manga called Vagabond. I think you'll like it.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've been interested in reading it.
I'm
I'll
saying this
check that one
because
out.
not every seinen is Berserk, so you know.
I know. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off. Vic, I'm coming for you.
What about me?
Look forward to it. You're not on his bad side, Hoshi. Sorry you came on the latter ending of the stream. But if you want to say anything like regarding either the topic of the stream or like whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you can.
Yeah, but like I said, Godzilla 98 was like my actual first introduction to Godzilla in general. It's because it was the Godzilla movie that I watched the most on TV, and it was the one that was constantly showing up on TV when I was like a little toddler, and because of that, I have a nostalgia for it, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way. It was my first Godzilla movie.
Yeah. So, well, on the topic of Godzilla 2014 versus Godzilla 98, I get what people were saying on the topic of that 2014 is better because it's more respectful to the source material. It makes Godzilla really ooze that sense of fear to him. Like he actually feels overpowered, except he gets kind of his ass kicked by Moose. But on the topic of that, the design of Godzilla in 2014 is just really spot on compared to like say 98 because it actually stays faithful to the concept of Godzilla, whereas 2014 no 98 is such a radical change to the character to the point that it no longer feels like no longer looks like the character that we're trying to adapt. It just looks like any other generic 90s giant monster that is designed in that period, which I don't mind. If anything, I'm one of the few people who actually does like Godzilla as its own standalone creature. Which, hey, speaking of Zilla, do you think Zilla this might be an unpopular thing me to ask, but I'm of the belief that Zilla's design is like way better than anything that came from like GVK or GXK, if you want to know, because I consider it really solid design. It looks goofy, like the chin or something, but it has more of an appeal to, like, say, creatures like the Warback, Mechagodzilla, Dragon Viper, and, Shimo in general.
I mean, like, personally, I would say I prefer Godzilla 98 over any of the, original monsters from the Monsterverse, sure, but, like, I would say it's kind of, like, on par. Like, I wouldn't really say, like, objectively one is better or worse. Because, like, I like Shimo because she reminds me of Godzilla 98. Because they have, like, almost the same spine structure. They're both reptiles, and they have that, like, scaly skin.
I always compared Shimo to, like, King Tyrant from the Ark games.
Yeah, Yeah, I haven't played too much Ark at all, but yeah, like yeah, just for me, like I like Godzilla '98 more than like the original Titans, like personally. But I think the original Titans are okay in the Wingard films, or even like the King of the Monsters, because I mean it's mostly just the same monsters from that film. But um, I guess so.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
The reason why I'm saying this is because, do you know an artist called Owen?
I don't think so. No.
He's one of the guys who did the redesigns for Monsters Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra to fit the art style that Garrett Head was going for in the 2014 movie.
I think I might know what you're talking about. Like I might have seen it on Twitter, but I don't remember it exactly.
Chimo, especially Chimo. I really adore how he went with Chimo's design, and I'm of the belief that I wish Shimo looks something like into this. So, because I'm saying this because I kind of find Shimo's design kind of goofy a bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess so. Like I hear that a lot, but I guess if there's like nothing else you want to discuss,
Yeah,
like if you
I was
want to,
gonna discuss about Zola's death or something because I always consider it one of the more sadder parts of the movie because even
yeah,
though her design of the creature is a massive overhaul, I do like that at the end of the day, it still is a natural, it's a creature that was not asked to be this way.
yeah,
And because of the fact that the scene where he sees the death of her babies and when it tries to kill our main protagonist to the point that it gets itself killed in the process, it really shows a sense of tragedy to him, and because that, I do feel a bit of sympathy for it when it dies. It at
mm-hmm.
least has some connection to the original Godzilla,
Yeah, I definitely see it that way. Myself personally, like I think the film did a good job of making you sympathize with the character of Godzilla as being just like a big animal that's big because of what humanity did to it. And even though it doesn't mean to hurt us, if it survives, then we might not live. So we have to do like a necessary evil and not let the human race die at the result of Godzilla. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I thought the death was very sad and tragic, and um,
Which
it's one of the good
which
Godzilla deaths.
which leads us to what is arguably the redemption for Zilla, aka Godzilla the series.
Mm-hmm.
Which, hey, have you guys discussed about that series while didn't show up?
Actually, no, we didn't end up discussing Godzilla the series, mostly just because this was a stream focusing on both like Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla '98. But I could probably do a whole stream talking about the series as a whole, and we could probably do that um, later down the line. But yeah, I also agree that like Godzilla the series is the better version of Godzilla '98.
I mean, for one thing, it actually breathes an atomic breath, so that's
Yeah,
already a plus.
yeah,
And
true.
it
That's true.
doesn't get fireized by the military, so there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's fair.
other than that, I think I'm going to be leaving now because I had
Yeah,
to
no
make my
problem.
own breakfast.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna wrap up the stream now anyway, since we're about 3 hours 30 minutes almost.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
if you can.
before I go, have you at least seen the video I sent to you on personal chat?
Is it the one with the music tracks?
Yes.
I did listen to a little bit of it. It sounds really good. What is that? Like, what exactly did you work on? Or you said you worked on it too?
I mean, if you see it in the description where it's my name, Antonio Sip, you'll see my Gachio C right there.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that
we were.
music from?
No, the guy that you followed, he follows me on Twitter, and I sent him my OC so he can make like the sound, like his OST, like for every gotcha OC out there.
Did he like make the music, or did he pick the music from the?
He made his own music.
Oh, so that's like your OC's theme.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was wondering what that was. I'll have to find your part because I only listened to a little bit of it and watched a little bit of it, but I'll get back to it and let you know
But
like, what I think.
hey, before you go, so do you want me to like draw a Beastman? No.
Yeah, I would love to see you draw Beastman, my kaiju. You don't have to like do it now or anything, but like whenever you have the time and you draw it, I would love to see how you draw him because I think I really like how you draw like your human characters and all that. And since Beastman is like part human, I think he would look really cool in your style. So I look forward to that if you want to draw him.
Okay, but other than that, even though I was very, very late showing up here, it was still a pleasure to be around you guys. Even though I'm in a completely different place right now.
Likewise.
But other than that, I hope you guys, Vic, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. I hope you have a good vacation as well.
Thanks. Adios.
Adios, man. All right. So we're gonna be wrapping up tonight's stream. Thank you again to everyone who joined. It was awesome talking to you guys as always. Hopefully you guys will be up for revisiting the topic if I work on any of like my counter arguments or better structure in my position. Like even though like Black Aruni, you said you agreed with me on the premise. I guess we disagree on just how exactly or I guess disagree on certain points of how they compare to each other, specifically just the specific points I provided. But yeah, it was still fun regardless, and hopefully you will revisit it in another stream. Thank you to everyone who listened in, watched, commented. Was happy to have you guys. Stay tuned for more. I know I've been promising some of the other cryptic happenings and the drawcasts. So hopefully I can set those up soon. But I'm happy to do this stream, and I expect some more stuff coming along. I might be working on more reviews and things like that. But again, thank you to everyone who stopped by. I am going to be wrapping up now. I did post in the link and in the description a referral link for StreamYard. If you're interested in partaking in any streaming online through YouTube through StreamYard, there's a referral link where you can get $10 off, I believe, for signing up to StreamYard, where you'll be able to do streaming like I and other of my friends along here. Check out my Ko-fi page on my Twitter, Instagram, things like that. I go by CrispyVic on Instagram and by Vic's Monstrosities or Vic Monstrous on Twitter, as well as other Blue Sky, Kara as well. But you can find me there along with all of my other artworks. Please feel free to check out my Ko-fi page. Would appreciate any support you can provide for me right now, like buying me a coffee. Any donations as well can earn you sketches, illustrations too for any returning customers of mine. You also get discounts for returning, being a repeat customer. But other than that, thank you to everyone who joined, for everyone who stopped by again. Until next time, Kaiju Seekers, over and out.